All right, I want to welcome everybody to tonight's live stream. We are live on YouTube and Facebook tonight, but I want to let people know that the live stream on YouTube will probably be taken down within 24 hours. I will edit this up, shorten it up, and then repost it as a podcast. If you're catching this as a podcast and you would like to participate in the live audience, make sure you head over to YouTube to Riding in the Ozarks, subscribe, hit that bell and set it to all so you'll be notified the next time we're doing a live. Then you can get in, you can participate in the audience in the live shows as well. Tonight, I'm joined by my regular co-host Bagger Bader and Firecracker, and we have some special guests tonight. Ray from Witchcraft Cycle Works, and we're waiting on Riding with a Mermaid and Carrie from Switchback Bar, but they have not jumped in here yet. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about what's going on, and we'll save some of the questions for after they get in. Hopefully they're able to connect up soon. So
Connie's having trouble with her microphone.
Okay. Well, hopefully she can get that figured out. You try and coach her through that. In the meantime, I'll just cover some events real quick. So the point of the show tonight here is to talk about IFR on May 6th. So that's going to be an event that what we're doing is it's a national event, but there is a specifically event going on at Switchback Bar. The ladies are guests in that ride, and there's going to be like a free pancake breakfast and a meet and greet in the morning. Then we're going to do kickstands up at 12. Firecracker and Ray are going to be leading a ride. We've already scouted the route out and everything, and it's sponsored by Switchback Bar, Pig Trail Harley Davidson, and the Cat House. They're going to have live music that afternoon at the Switchback and stuff going on. So that's kind of what tonight's show is based around, that event. We're going to interview these ladies and ask them some questions and stuff. But while we're waiting on the other gals to get in, oh, there's my buddy Outback, man, bringing in the dough. Hey, buddy, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Outback is down in Australia. So the other events that we are going to talk about, or we can talk about real quick, because the weekend after this, we have the Ozark Rides Rally, and I will be doing a guided ride there at that event. This is the guided ride that I'm going to do. That's Ozarks Rides Rally, May 13th, and I'm going to do a guided ride at 1:45. You can sign up for that. And we're going to do the Stover Loop out of the dealership and back. The dealership is going to have demo events that day. They're also having guided rides. They're giving away 2 Sportsters as first prize, and then I think some other stuff. I don't remember what all, but we're going to have some vendors there, demo rides, doing guided rides. There's one of our favorite bands, Fat Mike and the Bartenders, is playing that afternoon there and stuff. So we're going to have live music, and I think they got some bike washing girls there for Bagger Bader to have something to do.
So, how long is that loop?
They say it'll take about 2 hours. I think it's 91 miles. I think it's going to probably take us a little over 2 hours, because right in here there's a bar, and people were asking if we could find a stop where we could stop and have a drink and visit or whatever. So probably stop at Whiskey Dick's right there in Gravois Mills. Apparently it's allowed. I asked because I didn't want to get in trouble. First time I've led a ride for the dealerships. I didn't know what was good, what was allowed, what wasn't allowed, that kind of thing. And then Steve, you've got an event coming up the weekend after that. You want to tell them about that event real quick while we're waiting on the ladies to get in?
Sure. So a good friend of mine from Wichita, Kansas, 9 years ago began a poker run called the Big Ass Poker Run. And he moved it to Kansas City last year, trying to grow it. He really wants this to be an event that the Midwest can be proud of. So he's hoping to grow it. But the biggest thing on this deal is it's $5,000 cash money to the person that has the best poker hand. As far as we know, that's the largest payout in the country. The other cool thing he's been posting recently is some really cool gifts that are items that he's going to be raffling off. So he's got a lot of cool stuff going on. And even second place is $600. Third place is $400. I mean, that's usually first place in a lot of poker runs. So if you're around the Kansas City area, or if you have friends that ride in the Kansas City area, be sure to let them know about this event. It's going to be a blast.
There's Carrie.
There's Carrie.
Very
How you guys doing?
good,
Great.
Carrie. How are you?
I'm good.
We
Can
were
you
just
hear me?
killing. Yeah, we can hear you. We were just killing some time talking about some other events this month, like the Ozark Ride Rally and the $5,000 poker run. While we were waiting on you guys to get in, I think Honey's having some problems with her microphone. If she pops in, we'll get her in there. But I think we'll probably go ahead and get started. I've already kind of mentioned the event, Carrie, but I think really you should tell everybody about this because this was your brainchild, your thing you wanted to do.
Yeah.
So tell the audience what we're doing and stuff, and then we'll ask all the ladies some questions, including yourself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's cool. So originally, like I come across this international female ride a couple years ago, and I just promoted it. Like, hey, ladies, get out there and ride, and just like celebrate, female riders. And so this year, I decided that I wanted to do more about it. I wanted to like host the event. I wanted to get the ladies to Switchback. I wanted to have them get out there and ride. So I reached out to Firecracker and I said, "Hey, girl, what do you think? Will you be interested in doing the ride?" And like, absolutely. I started on that, and this is basically a global female ride. It's taken out. This is the 17th year, and I'm super excited about it. And that I've got the gals on board, and it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah,
Riding-
I think we have a pretty good route picked out. Nice scenery, nice travels, a few scenic spots to take some photos. I think it's going to be a good time.
So I've got I got Firecracker, I got Ray from the Witchcraft Cycles, and then Hanny. She's starting a new social media with riding in the riding with Mermaid. So this is a good introduction to her and have her get out there. So they've got a great plan. I wanted to do something that they can get more involved, so I had them plan the ride and some of the events that's going to happen throughout the day. It's going to start and finish at Switchback. We're going to have live music. I've got music starting at noon until 7 o'clock. We've got giveaways, raffles, and all that good stuff. A bike wash that I'm just learning now that some dudes are willing to come out and wash some bikes for the ladies.
Yeah, who started that nasty rumor?
Yeah, that would be riding with the Mermaid, and maybe that's why she's having difficulty getting in.
Yeah, he's actually trying to get in, but it won't let me put her in the stream. It says that her mic or camera is not connected. So she's like tried to come in, but everything's not working right. So it won't even let me add her to the stream. So we've talked about what it is, and we'll give everybody maybe Firecracker or Ray, you guys want to take turns kind of talking about some of the things we're going to do on the route, or do you want to keep that a secret?
Well, we did get the Harley dealership is going to do just for our group t-shirt shredding. If you've ever wanted to learn how to do that, you can bring your own shirt, purchase a shirt there, and they have a select few of their ones from the lace thing. But they're only like size 2X and 3X. They're going to have snacks and some other beverages for us while we're there, and just do a kind of a quick class on that for us. Ray, you want to add some stuff?
Whenever we was planning this route, we decided that we wanted to add a couple of photo ops, along with like a little bit of shopping, and we also wanted to be able to get it to where like all the ladies can mingle and get to know each other.
Yep. So with that, I've got the gals coming in. I've got a free breakfast for me at 11:30, so that you can go. My over the Golden Bridge.
I wasn't able to catch that. Was anyone else?
I think I heard something about breakfast. Got gals coming in, and I know she's talking like a pancake breakfast before the ride, and she's
Yes.
got live music.
Yes. Yep. So free pancake breakfast from 10:30 to 11:30. Kickstands up at noon.
So the meet and greet's going to be at that time during the breakfast. And like, I'm going to have stickers and my own personal poker chips. We're going to be giving out poker chips for International Female Ride Day that we had made up. And then the other girls, I think, are going to have stuff. And then we've got, of course, we've all kind of got stuff together to do raffles. Probably when we get back, we'll do the raffle for the things that we got to give away.
Look at Terry cutting on me now about the food part. Just because I didn't miss a meal during spring fling, it doesn't mean a thing.
Another thing about the photo op, I want to say that the International Female Ride, like their site, they're doing a sweepstakes. So make sure that you get those photos out there, and they're going to open, I believe, May 5th, but our ride is on May 6th. So they have it open until May 27th. So it has to be photos on the ride, and they've got 3 categories, like the selfie, which you could be 1 to 3 women. I'm going to look at my cheat sheet. 4 to 7 women is like the actual photo, and then the group is 8 plus women, and then you can win prizes. And they want you to get online and submit those photos. And then the prizes that you're going to get is, for the selfies, is the Cardo Pack. I'm sorry, I don't know what this is. Cardo Pack Talk Selfie.
Cardo's a Bluetooth communicator. So Cardo's probably sponsoring us. This would be like a Bluetooth unit for your helmet.
Those are really not, that's a really nice unit. I've got one. They're awesome.
Okay, cool. So then that's one of the prizes for one of the selfies. For the 4 to 7 women photo, they have Indian jacket, t-shirt, and gloves. That will be the winner. And then for your group, they have a Can-Am jacket and helmet. So make sure that you enter that sweepstakes. That again is on their site. Just look up International Female Ride, and then enter your photos from there.
I got a guy at Harley. We're going to have to talk to him and say, look, bro, you're going to have to get something sponsored here. We'll work with you for next year, because we can't be giving out Indian jackets and T-shirts. We're going to have some Harley gear.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a guy. I'll be talking to him. He may even be watching this stream. He actually does watch our live streams. That's how we first got introduced to him. He found out about a benefit we were doing and reached out. So you never know when Harley Davidson is listening in the side chat.
Mm-hmm. Let's get him involved.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that 2 of the stops are some very historic scenery that's going to make a great backdrop for some of these photos. I think everybody's really going to like it.
Yeah, and we have men that can help take pictures for us.
Right.
That's right. Yep. And I have a few ideas, baby, with her pictures.
Yeah.
So our boy Jeff is in here, and he just wanted to share this. The Cat House will provide a toast for all the ladies at our stop. So there's a great way of contributing. I know Jeff has helped sponsoring this. They're on the poster. The Cat House, that will be one of our stops before we head back to the Switchback. But I want to say a big shout out to Carrie for putting this all together, to Kyle at Pig Trail for supporting it, to Jeff, being willing to do whatever he can do to help support the event. These guys are always supporting motorcycle events in the Eureka Springs area and stuff. If there's a motorcycle thing going on, they're usually in the middle of it. And if not, they know who is. So, we want to thank them for all they're doing there. And I know that the 3 ladies have put a lot of effort into this as well. Ray and Firecracker and Honey are, working on ideas and coming up with some gifts to give away and some things all on their own, just because they want to make this an awesome event for all the ladies that attend.
Yeah, they've been amazing. Like I introduced them to this, and I said, hey, what do you think? And they just kind of took charge, and I'm like, okay, make this your own thing. So
hold it. How much will you pay? Put a dollar amount out there, and then then we'll figure out what we got to do here. There's money involved. I'm not cheap, but I can be had.
Oh yeah.
I'm cheap. I need the money.
So let's get into the questions and answers thing. I know a lot of people, at least some of the people in the chat I think have had some questions today. I've had a few people message me because Harley Davidson announced 4 motorcycles today and the CVOs and some other stuff. So before I get into any of those questions, if people have those in the chat that they want to talk about that, we'll get into that stuff after we give the ladies a chance to tell us all about themselves and make sure we're promoting female riders. I mean, I mentioned this a few times in live. I don't talk about it a lot in videos, but Firecracker and I are part of the motorcycle rights organization here in Missouri, the largest one, and we're pretty active and been involved. I've been in it for 9 years. So this will be my 10th year here this summer. And, in that organization, we track rider population as far as like male versus female. We track accidents, all these different things. And female riders has been a growing population in the motorcycle community. And I think it's great to see events like this, recognizing them and kind of spotlighting them and helping them have that voice in our community and it, giving them a place, that's their place as part of this. So I think it's very cool.
Hey, Mike, I did some numbers, or I looked at some numbers today online, and I read where in 2000, about 10% of all riders were women. And then in 2018, it went up to 18%. So since 2018 to today, I got to think that women riders are, certainly over 20%, which is awesome.
It absolutely is. And, my daughter was over for dinner last night and she was talking to me about wanting to learn to ride. She's only rode on the back of my bike a few times. She moved out of state. Right after I got it, she's recently moved back and now she's showing an interest in learning to ride and do things. And, I used to have a little Rebel 250, a little Honda Rebel 250 that I would, I always wanted people to go take the safety course. The motorcycle rights organization that we're a member of does rider safety courses and stuff, but I would help those ladies get ready on that Rebel 250 to go take the class. I still want them to take the class, but we'd go out and work on the friction zone and the braking and how to shift and make them do things so when they got there, they were confident they were going to be able to do the class. They didn't go in there nervous with having no experience whatsoever. And I think that, we saw a lot of growth in the female community in our organization. And so I hope everybody, you're out there, if you have the ability to help a woman or if a lady expresses interest in learning to ride, that you support her, do not tear her down, support her. If you don't know how to help her, get with a motorcycle rights organization or with a dealership that does riding academies. Oh my gosh, we have a guest and I can see her face. There she is.
I'm here. I made it. Finally.
So that's Riding with the Mermaid. So, honey, we've been talking about the event and everything. I don't know if you could hear anything that we've been talking about, but we filled everybody in on kind of the event and the plans for the day and stuff. And you're just in time because we're at the part where we're going to do the questions and the answers. So
Lord.
I got questions for all of the ladies in the stream, and we'll let them answer. Because I want to give everybody who's watching, which we have like 25, 30 people watching right now. I want to give them a chance to learn a little bit about you, know a little bit about you. I mean, Honey needs to be known as, riding it with a mermaid, not Bert's mom. So, I mean, she's Bert's mom, but that's how everybody has known her up to this point. So, who wants to go first?
I say you just start at the top and go across. Ask
Okay.
a question, let each of us answer.
All right. So first question, we'll start with Carrie, is how long have you been riding and what are you riding now if you're still riding? Because I know Carrie did ride. I don't know if she still rides.
Yep. So my first ride was a Hot Wheels. So I started out that I was 3 years old, whatever. So I progressed on that, but I've been riding for about 10 years. On my own, I started with the Sportster, which I absolutely loved and thought that I would be riding forever. And then I was introduced to the Dyna, which then I'm like, okay, a little more weight. works and it's a better ride. So then I started customizing that Dyna. So I got a solo seat, and I got some new louder pipes, and I got some ape hangers and all that good stuff. So that was a fun bike. And I rode that for some time, but then I started getting into thinking I needed a larger bike. So I got into an Ultra, which I absolutely loved. I was a little hesitant on that because of the weight on that bike as well. And then, kind of thinking about the tunes. I don't need the tunes. I'd love to hear the wind going through my, hair and all that stuff. But my first time, Andy had told me just to kind of start like low on the volume and then just kind of turn it up as I wanted to. Well, by the time that I was done with that ride, I had it full blast, and I'm like, okay, tunes are good for the ride. So yeah, so I rode that for some time. But like right now, where I'm at is I'm riding with Andy again, and just kind of sitting back, enjoying it and taking pictures and all that good stuff. So I am thinking about getting another bike, just because I miss it. So
Cool.
it's fun to have that freedom.
All right, Ray, you're up. The question is, how long have you been riding, and what are you riding now?
I have had my license for about 16 years, but total probably about 12 years. I am riding a 09 Road King.
Oh, what else are you riding? Come on now.
So I have a 09 Road King. I have a 08 Heritage. I have an 89 Softail Custom, a 78 Shovelhead, and a 05 Big Dog Mastiff.
So far.
Hey, girl.
Yes.
I didn't load the questions up with how many bikes you own because I already knew that it was going to kind of be a lopsided, comparison. Excuse me. Firecracker, I believe you're on.
I've been riding for about 6 years. I started out on the 2000 Dyna. That's the one I had a wreck on. It kind of, after I had the wreck, it set me back a little bit. I just didn't ride as much. I did get back on it a month later, which yesterday was my 3-year anniversary of my accident, by the way. But anyways, so that set me back a little bit. I still rode it, but I just didn't ride as much. I just wasn't that comfortable. And so I would have to say since last year when I got this bike in February, I've rode more than I ever have. So that's about it.
Do you know how many miles you rode last year?
7,000.
Yeah, 7,000. You've already put 1,000 on this year. All right, honey, you're up.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Yay! I wasn't sure if you would. So I've been riding, I want to say like 4-ish years. I had dirt bikes when I was younger a little bit. And then I got a 650 V-Star and I rode that for a while, and I couldn't get up and go the way I needed to. Like it was kind of scary. I couldn't get out of traffic and stuff. So now I have an 09 Electra Glide. She's right behind me. And yeah, I've been on her for about a year.
All right, very cool. So, we've got from since I was 3 to 4 years. And so a wide variety there, which kind of sets the tone maybe for some of the other questions and stuff. I want to say hi and a shout out to Charlie Fagan here. He's in the chat, joined us. If you guys don't know who Charlie is, he's got a huge Facebook group called the Harley Davidson Flea Market. He's also involved in putting on the Ozark Rumble Rally, which is going to be moved to Eureka Springs this year in June. So we got to meet Charlie. He did the bike show at Spring Fling and stuff. And I'll probably be having him here on the show. I think we're going to shoot for a week or two before the Ozark Rumble Rally so he can kind of promote that event and let people know more about it.
Yeah, just so you know, that event is June 9, 10, 11, just to put it on your calendar.
Yep, June 9th to 11th. I don't know if we'll get to come down before the night of the 9th or the morning of the 10th or something. We've got so many events we're trying to do this year, but we're going to try and get down there and see that at least for a day and come see everybody down there in Eureka Springs again. Like you're not seeing enough of us. So the next question, were you a passenger before becoming a solo rider? And if so, for how long?
I'm starting.
You're starting at the top again, I
Okay.
guess.
So again, I started with the Hot Wheels as a kid, and then I moved on. Actually, I did have a dirt bike. So I was a Yamaha 100 and rode the ditches and climbed hills and all that good stuff. So I was a solo rider. But then as I got older, I was a passenger at first, and then introduced to Andy. Actually challenged me, and he said, "Hey, would you ever want to ride your own again?" And so I jumped on the bike and I went around the block, and I'm like, you know what? I want my own bike. So then that's how that started. So I started riding my own, and
That's a little better.
you know, for about the 10 years, and then now I'm back solo. But again, I would like to, you know, have a choice.
Very cool. Randall's Ride just dropped in, said hello to everybody. Toby Northern is in the house, Northern Adventures. They're 87 Ricer, Middle Tennessee. I probably have been neglecting the chat a little bit. We're up to 31 people in the chat. Road Rush Nation is here. Greg McBee, Evil Rick, a lot of people, Wind Road Therapy. I saw the Badgers. I don't know if they're still in there, but I saw Mama Badger in here earlier and stuff. So I want to thank everybody in the audience for tuning in and supporting these ladies and stuff. So that's really cool. Ray, we'll go to you. The question, were you a passenger before becoming a solo rider? And if so, how long were you a passenger before you decided you wanted to ride your own?
Yes, I was passenger. I want to say I was a passenger for probably about 3 years, and then I decided that I wanted to learn how to ride. And then, like, I don't know, on and off again for about another 3 years. So I guess about 6 years total.
All right, Firecracker, you're up. How were you a passenger before becoming a solo rider, and for how long?
Yes, I was a passenger before for, I guess, 2-3 years, I guess. And I actually, before I got with Mike, wanted to ride my own and wasn't encouraged to. Was kind of leaned towards I was kind of dumb for wanting to do it, and I couldn't do it basically. And then I got with Mike and I told him I wanted to. So he was a big encouragement for me and was like, well, we'll get, and took his time to teach me what he could and then help me get to the class. And he actually went and watched me do the class because he wanted to kind of see what they did. So if we had other friends that wanted to learn, he could kind of give them the first steps of learning. So yeah, Mike was my biggest encouragement, knowing that I wanted, once I told him that I would like to do it.
All right, honey. The question is, were you a passenger before becoming a solo rider, and for how long were you a passenger before you got the bug to have your own?
Well, I can't really say because I did forget to mention we had sport bikes for a while. Hubby had a racing bike and he had a smaller racing bike. So I did ride a little bit on it, but it was my thing. So for the most part, I was a passenger for a few years, I'd say. But what kind of encouraged me to get me on my own was that my husband was more willing to take our dog for a ride than me. So one day after probably 3 in a row date nights of him saying, hey, let's go out on date night. And I get all geared up and then he says, oh no, babe, you're going to have to drive the truck. I'm going to take Bert. And so finally the third time I said, in worse words, I said, screw this, I'm getting my own bike. And So I did. And I rode it for like 2 years before I ever even had a license. Like I had my permit, but I rode it for 2 years. We did the the tail of the dragon before I even had a license on that bike.
Good girl.
I have friends who
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're not still riding on their permit because they're too lazy to go take the test.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
Another good reason for women to ride their own is what happens when you're broke down,
Mhm.
such as the day after our marriage.
Yep.
Day one of the honeymoon, we are out in the middle of nowhere, no cell phone service, and I have a flat tire.
Mm.
Luckily, she had her own bike. We could go get help.
Mhm.
One more reason to ride your own.
All right. Now, question number 3. Back to Carrie. What motivated you to start riding your own? I mean, you said Andy kind of encouraged you to get back into it.
Yeah.
So,
So what?
I didn't.
So like I said, I rode a Yamaha 100 as a kid, rode ditch and stuff, and it was like, I liked that freedom. So when I was starting to date Andy, he rode, and so he kind of got me back into that freedom feeling when we rode. And then he just asked me, hey, would you be interested in riding your own? And then I was like, okay, are the gears the same as a Yamaha 100? And he's like, yep, just take it, around the block and see what you think. So then once I took it around the block, I'm just like, oh my God, like I missed this. So we went ahead and got myself my Sportster, and I started from there and got my permit, rode for some time. And I have to say this too, like I took the Harley test, and it's a 3-day thing, and I would highly recommend that. Like I rode on my permit, I'm not even going to tell you how long. So not legal. So anyway, I finally, decided like let's get my license, and went to the Harley dealership and took the 3-day course. And I mean, it was amazing. Even after riding all those years, I learned so much more. So I would definitely say, take the 3 days and get your license through them. They do an amazing job.
All right. So Ray, what motivated you to start riding your own?
I didn't want to have to. I did not want to have to depend on a man.
Well, this kind of goes wrong right here with what Toby just posted. If the man is gone, business, etc., the lady can move the bikes if necessary. Another reason is one woman biker inspires another woman to ride, and so on. But yeah, you want to be able to do whatever and not be dependent upon anybody.
Yeah. I just want to be able to go when I want to go and ride where I want to ride.
And boy, does she go.
And I didn't want to have to say, oh, hey, can you take me for a ride? Or, oh, not today. Okay, I'll wait till tomorrow. I mean, I didn't want to do that. So.
All right, Firecracker, what motivated you? I mean, what made you think I want to do this? I want to ride my own.
I mean, it's kind of what Ray said, like, what if because I'm not married, so what if we split, me or whoever splits up, who's going to take me on the bike? So it's kind of, then I could ride my own bike and go enjoy it with my friends, because I have met some amazing people. But there were several females that we were around before I got with Mike, and after that I had been around that rode their own, and that just kind of encouraged me that I would like to do it. There's sometimes that I would still ride with Mike, but most of the time I want to ride my own now. So I just enjoy it. It's relaxing. I can sit on my own bike and I can have my music up as loud as I want. I don't have to keep tapping Mike on the shoulder, turn up the radio, or, I can control my own stuff. So.
Well, and you also have your own control.
Yeah.
Oh, she has control when she rides behind me. She just reaches around and grabs something and says, "Do this."
Oh, whatever.
Hey, I'm going to call bullshit on all these answers because I see 4 beautiful women on this panel. And I think the honest answer is they want to dress up, look sexy, and make all us guys drool when they ride by on that Harley. That's what I think's going on.
All right, honey, it's your turn. I think you kind of answered this. What motivated you was you got kicked off.
I mean, I will have to say he's not wrong. It feels so empowering when you're riding your own and you have these other guys that are like possibly drooling, whatever, but like they're rooting you on. And then you see the other girls. I've been in traffic before where I passed other women in cages and they're like, yeah, it's a chick rider. And that is really empowering and really cool. But yeah, Bert's the reason I ride because he kicked me off the back. But it is so nice. It is so nice every now and again to sit behind him, but it is so freeing to be on your own. Like now that I'm much more comfortable, it's like such a cool feeling to be out in the wind and just, I don't know, experiencing what you thought dirty bikers experience. Like they had it right. They've had it right the whole time.
All right. I've got 3 more questions. But I wanted to take a second. Schmidt Law Firm, if you guys don't know who they are, they help sponsor Riding in the Ozarks. They help Firecracker and me get to events and do things. They're the attorney here in Missouri that is helping us in their personal injury attorney, and I just want to give them a shout out and thank them. And they sponsor events like this all throughout Missouri and Kansas. They are a sponsor for the $5,000 poker run that Steve was talking about earlier and stuff. So I want to give them a shout out, and Switchback Bar and Cat House, those guys all help us get to Spring Fling to be able to cover that. Those are, other people that help sponsor events and sponsor people getting to those events and stuff. So I want to give them a shout out before we went any further in the show for that. Next question for Carrie. Biggest fears or challenges or obstacles you've had to face as a solo rider?
Biggest, the car. Like we're out there riding, they're not looking for us. So I guess that's my biggest fear. I'm always looking ahead and just kind of seeing what may happen, what might not happen, whatever. So just pretty much paying attention. So yeah, I would just say that car ahead of you, or that's 3 ahead of you, or that's on the side, pulling into the lane of traffic. So that's basically my fear.
Carrie, do you worry more about a car coming in from behind you while you're parked or whatever, or someone coming towards you?
Well, I have had an experience where I was riding in a 4-lane traffic, whatever, where it stopped instantly, and I did have a car come in behind me quite quickly that I had to, kind of pull aside. Otherwise, it would have went back into my, me. So, I mean, yeah, I guess you just have to pay attention to like your full surrounding thing. So, but yeah, there's been other incidences that, just, them pulling out in front of you, or, like you're in a different lane, and then they're like, all of a sudden you're sharing the lane with them. So, just be aware of everything around you.
All right, Ray. Biggest fear, challenge, or obstacle you've had to face as a solo rider?
I would have to say, I guess maybe using too much brake or not enough. Because I always had a fear of like, okay, am I gonna lock it up if I use it this much, or am I gonna stop on time?
So kind of a self-doubt thing on your own abilities or things like that.
Well, let's put this into context. she rides places where a lot of men wouldn't. She has followed me into some pretty extreme terrain, gravel, steep inclines, hairpin turns, rain. Yeah, she's a total badass.
So,
Yes.
all right. So your biggest fear, though, or out of those three, the biggest one is fear of your own ability to handle whatever that is, even though they may be extreme conditions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Firecracker, biggest fear, challenge, or obstacle you've had to face as a solo rider.
Well, probably, I would say, basically for me, after my accident, it has made me scared to death of loose gravel on the road. I'll see a road that looks like it's got loose gravel on it, and I will slow way down, and I just, that freaks me out. I notice every bit of it now, no matter what, and that has set me back. I've gotten a little better, but that's, my accident is probably my worst obstacle I had to overcome. Not that I was scared to get back on, but it was more of working through what I went through and giving myself the confidence back. So
We're up over looks like about 35 people on the stream right now in the chat watching all this. So that's great. We appreciate everybody for coming out and supporting these ladies and stuff. So, Hani, biggest fear, challenge, or obstacle you've had to face?
I would say my biggest fears and insecurities are within. And that can unfortunately change day to day. But the biggest problem that I've had that I know of has been, I have like an obsession with my front brake that I've been able to break that brake. I've been on the ground several times because I grabbed it too hard. So there's that. That's one thing that I've learned, and I know that's maybe like a newer rider, if you will, a problem that you have, but like, yeah, I've I've hurt myself a couple times pretty good just grabbing that front brake, and you don't need to.
well, here's another thing I didn't think. For me also, I get in my head a lot. I freak myself out over things and overthink them. And Mike will be like, just relax, calm down. That hill coming up from the cat house to go to the motels, Eureka Springs, absolutely scared the shit out of me. And I kept freaking out. And finally I just had to do it. And then after I did it, I was like, oh, that wasn't that bad. But I just get things in my head. And when I ride behind Mike, things would look worse to me when I'm riding on the back of his bike than when I'm actually doing it myself and riding my own bike. It is totally different. The curves are totally different. Like they look way worse than when you are riding your own bike and you are, and that's what I have to learn to do is get out of my own head and quit overthinking things too.
You're right. I have that problem too. And Willie's always saying, stop thinking about it. And it doesn't make sense to me to stop thinking about it. But like really, when I relax and stop thinking about it, it works. It totally works.
Yep, it does.
April?
Firecracker, now do you own that hill?
Yeah, I haven't had a problem since I've done it. So it makes me feel way better now.
She did it 3 or 4 times last weekend for Spring Fling. We were down there. I mean,
April,
Nice.
what did I tell you about that hill? You were telling us, you were concerned about doing that hill, and I told you
I do it every time.
I told you
Just do what you know how to do.
exactly. Just do what you know how to do and quit overthinking it.
I'm really a lot better if I've had like a drink in me to calm my nerves, to be honest.
just one. Reasonable. Being in control makes you more
Cheers.
comfortable, Randall says, and that's true to some extent. I think I know I'm a lousy passenger in a car. I'm over there stomping on the floor because the brake lights are on and the guy who's driving hasn't let off the gas, and so I can imagine. Not that I ride bitch much, but I guess if something happened and I had to get to a hospital, I would probably do it. So
We're live.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the a lot of comments in here. Angie commented here. Challenge for me has been when I'm around my husband and others in the community, other men will only talk to him directly, even though I am talking to them as well. Only reason I can think of why this happens is a stigma of talking to a biker's woman irritates me to no end. I think, well, Angie, and I hope I don't do that. I think some people will do that because if they don't know you or they don't know Sonny per se well enough, they may feel like would be taken as being disrespectful or something like that. And I think that stigma and that thing you're talking about can happen sometimes. But you just got to remember, I think some people are maybe doing it. Hopefully they're doing it out of some sense of respect, maybe, rather than out of, dissing you because you're a female rider. I would hope so.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I know that if I'm talking to a husband and wife, I try to talk to the husband primarily just so that hopefully he understands that, hey, everything's cool, and I'm just wanting to talk motorcycles.
Yeah, Randall doesn't like that bitch reference, riding bitch. I don't know. It's just to me. Hopefully everybody knows me well enough to know I'm not trying to insult anyone. It's just the way it was always described growing up. That you're gonna ride bitch, But I guess it goes back to. I mean, my mom and dad both rode. I grew up with parents that rode. They didn't ride a lot when I was younger, but they rode. My dad rode before I was born, and then when I got older and I wanted to ride, when I got my first Harley, he'd had a few bikes in between growing up and stuff, and they encouraged me and got me on dirt bikes and stuff. But when I got older and I got my first Harley, my dad went out and bought another Harley so we could go ride together, and then my mom went out and bought a Honda so she could ride too, and it's a family thing, and it's just nothing. There's never been no stigma around it in our family, so I've never thought of it as that thing.
That's a term. That's a term that's been thrown around for a lot of years. Maybe we could ask the girls. I mean, if somebody comes up to you and says, "Oh, are you riding bitch today?" Is that going to offend you?
No, I say hell yeah.
I think people understand that that's kind of a term that's to lighten things up. It's supposed to be funny. I don't think anybody's being, serious about it.
I say it probably riding bitch more to guys than I do to girls.
Me too.
Until I talk to Firecracker, I'll say you riding on back. I'll say you're riding bitch. But there's guys around, be like, I ain't riding bitch.
Yeah.
Well, and Ray proudly wears a patch right on the front of her vest that says "This bitch rides her own."
There you go. I think that term has a different meaning in the biker culture than
definitely
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the same thing to bikers as it does to the general public.
No,
I think so.
So we got another question here for you guys. What would you say to other females that want to become a rider but are on the fence?
I'm first, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I would my opinion or my advice or whatever is like you need to be 100% confident. So get on a bike, whatever, go do the course and stuff. But if you're second guessing yourself, then you shouldn't be on a bike. Like you need to be comfortable, confident, and and enjoy it, I guess. But I would say yes, go try it.
All right. So Ray, what would you say to other females that want to become a rider but are on the fence?
I would say take the rider's course because they have the bikes provided for you and they teach you how to ride. And that way there's no pressure from anyone else, and only you can decide for yourself whether it's for you or not.
right.
Yeah, that's all I can really say about that.
Okay. Firecracker, what would you say?
I would say the same thing as them. Either take the course if you really don't have the money for a course, then definitely see if there's somebody you know that might have something like Mike did to maybe get you on one just to practice the clutch and stuff like that, and see, and maybe before you pay all the money to do the course. But also, I would say if you've got questions, call me or call Ray, or call any of us girls. If you've got questions, if you want to know, and we can talk to you. That's one thing about it. Just because we're on here and we're doing this, I want to do the page to help other people, my YouTube page. I'm not good at it yet, but hopefully, but I want to be an inspiration, and I want people to feel like they can message me if they've got a question, or if they need an opinion, or if they need answers. And if I don't have them, I can reach out or whatever. But mainly just, ask other female writers. I mean, most female writers are going to be glad that you came up and, kind of asked them. They're not going to be rude about it or mean about it. They're going to give you their honest opinion and give you some pointers or whatever. So.
Yeah, I'm with Firecrackers. So yeah, I mean, you see us ladies here, you have our connections, like reach out to us if you have any questions, any doubts, whatever. Reach out to us and we'll let you know how it is. So we're here for it. That's one thing that I wanted this to be about, is it's about lady riders, to celebrate them, to the ones that are looking at maybe riding, show up this weekend and get a feel for it, and then get to learn a little bit more about what it's all about.
So honey, you're next. You're going to be talking to about 38 people that are watching right now.
Hi.
Sons of bitches, by the way.
You know what? All I have to say is everybody starts out differently when it comes to this journey being on two wheels. But I do highly recommend taking the class. And I've even told some of my friends that are interested in riding that I will take the class with them, because I think even that very basic beginner class can be appropriate to people that have had their license for a while. Yeah, I haven't had my license for that long, but it can really help out. And I would love to see other women come out and hang out with us if they feel comfortable. But I highly recommend taking that class.
And if any lady sees this stream, even if you're not doing the ride on Saturday, I am sure everybody would still love for you to come out to the Switchback, do the meet and greet, meet these ladies, talk to them. It'd be a chance to talk to them one-on-one if you have questions, doubts, concerns, or need a little motivation or a little advice. Someone to discuss it with, whether it's this event or any other event we're doing. If you're on Facebook, or primarily Facebook is where I get really active about events and things that are going on, because we can do events on Facebook and we share a lot of stuff on Facebook for events. So you can follow me or Firecracker, either one on there. Witchcraft Cycle Works, I know, has a page on there. Switchback Bar is always posting their events and stuff on there. And, so if you're in Northwest Arkansas and you can't make this event for some reason, I'm sure you can still go find Carrie at the bar any day that she's there, and she'll be happy to sit down and talk to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's note that even though this is the International Female Riders Day, it's not just for the female riders. Anybody can join us. The men can join us. The women, if you're riding passenger, by all means, join us. You don't have to ride your own, ladies, to join us on this ride this weekend.
And men, if you want to come support the ladies, then come support us. We're just going to put the solo men in the back of the pack. We're going to put solo ladies up front, then ladies and men and lady combination, passenger 2 up in the middle, and then any solo men in the back. So, but everybody's welcome, and we can always use a little help, depending on how many people turn out. Me and Bill are going to be working on traffic blocking and things like that, and we're going to print some.
Hani said that I think Will and them were going to help with that too, right?
Yes. Yeah. They said that they were going to help out, but they're also doing the car wash for the lady
Right.
or the bike wash for the ladies.
So who's helping Will with car wash? Is that Bowman?
We've got Mike Thompson. Or I'm sorry, that's you. Mike. Wait, aren't you getting in a Speedo and washing bikes for us, ladies?
That was supposed to be. That was the thing that brought it up.
we have Willie. Oh, we can make that work. Mike Bowman, and then we've got Gary Stone and Willie. I know
I think 3 dudes rubbing around on one bike is enough. All right. So last question, kind of to top it off for you ladies, and then we'll see if Steve has got anything or if there's anything you guys want to say. But I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to tell people where they can follow you at online, all the platforms you're on, all the places to find you, to connect with you at.
Yep. So I'm Switchback Bar. So you can find me on Facebook, Switchback Bar Eureka Springs.
Ray, you're up.
You can find me on Witchcraft Cycle Works on Facebook and on YouTube.
Firecracker, where do they find you?
I have Firecracker on Two Wheels Facebook page. I have a Instagram page. I think my TikTok is under Firecracker, and YouTube Firecracker on Two Wheels. So a lot of my stuff though, I haven't gotten good about getting it onto Firecracker, so a lot of it's on my personal page too. So, but I'm trying to get better at posting more on the Firecracker page. So.
All right, Hani, where do they find you at?
I'm at Riding with a Mermaid on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and hopefully soon YouTube. But I'm just now starting out, and I appreciate this opportunity to be able to do this. So hopefully soon I'll have some pretty good stuff for y'all.
All right. So Toby has a question out here. How many gentlemen would ride 2 up backseat with their lady to support IFR Day? I will say personally, I would if she was comfortable with that, but she has not rode anybody passenger, and that wouldn't be the day to start.
So that'd be my question. So on this route, most of us know that Northwest Arkansas has great roads, and some of them can be pretty technical. So based on your route, if there's some gals out there that are not real experienced, is this route friendly enough that, even that type of person could run out and tackle it?
We're going to take it nice and slow. Me and Bill have already run the route with the ladies. There's not a lot of easy roads in Arkansas besides the interstates, and so we're not doing those. I wouldn't say they're easy roads, but we're going to be taking them at a nice pace with lots of breaks. I think everybody just follows the pace that the ladies are going to set. They'll be fine. Keep your eyes on the road. Everybody give each other space. Nobody crowd each other, and everything should be good and gold. What wouldn't you say, Bill?
Well, yes. And the other thing is, if you're not quite experienced and you have doubts, following somebody else through the same curves, and you notice, oh, she just did that curve, I can do it too. That helps a lot.
So here was that question. The big hill include. We'll be coming down the hill into the cat house. We won't be coming up that hill. So you won't have to face the big hill at the cat house.
I don't think there's anything really challenging on this route.
I think it's.
No.
there's some curvy switchbacks, a couple here
Right.
and there going down around Beaver and some of that, but we're going to be coming in at 25 mile an hour. We're not going to be running that road at 50 mile an hour. That's not the way this ride's going to go. If you're interested in seeing how fast you can take the turn, this is not the ride for you, because we're not doing that pace. This is about keeping everybody safe, everybody having a good time, and providing the ladies with the chance to visit, get to know each other, and support each other.
Yeah.
And I can
But
tell you
also
right now,
you guys had chosen some nice roads here that they get to experience Arkansas.
I told them the other day when we were doing the route, I can tell who anybody riding behind. If I'm leading, you may be thinking, gosh, she could go a little faster, because my number one thing, safety for myself, but also safety for the people behind me. I'm not going to go anywhere out of my comfort. And most of the time when I ride, I'm behind Mike, so I see how he does it. And I feel comfortable that I can do this, leading it, no problem. But I can tell you, I'm not going to, there's going to be times I will probably be under the speed limit on a couple of those curves just to make sure, because I don't know the experience of the people riding behind me. And I don't want to have anybody have an issue on a ride that I was leading. So
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
It's
right
easy
now.
to get, when you're a road captain, it's easy to feel a little bit of pressure to want to make sure that even the more experienced riders are having a great time. So maybe you push it a little harder than you should. And so I think that's always something I have to battle, is making sure that I think about the entire group and make sure everybody stays safe.
And Ray, you can absolutely dress up in a costume if it makes you more comfortable to ride on the back. Tutus preferred.
I heard
Honey has a soft spot for tutus.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Doc Harley's back. We're still running at about 35 people. It's a good turnout tonight. I really appreciate, again, everybody coming out and supporting the ladies and stuff. So Steve, do you got any follow-up questions for the ladies?
I was thinking about another one. So from start to finish, about how long will this run last, do you think?
So the route is about 90 miles long.
Okay.
If we have like kickstands up at noon, I think we should be back. I don't know, probably like around 6 or so.
And that's if people take time to.
Depends on how long people want to stop, take pictures, mingle. The cutting t-shirt activity that's going to be at the Harley dealer and stuff.
Right. I mean, if somebody may want to, eat dinner somewhere along the route or something like that, so.
Which if somebody gets hungry along the route, well, Harley's going to have snacks, but they have their food truck set up right outside there, that if somebody's hungry, we're going to tell them, you need to go over there and get you something to eat, because it's going to be too hard to find a place to stop. Otherwise, they're going to have to wait till we get to the cat house or back to Switchback. But with pancakes before we leave, and then snacks at the Harley, hopefully, we won't have a whole bunch of us like starving to death or whatever. But we'll just have to play it by ear, really. Hopefully.
So I wanted to say something here for Angie's comment. She said that she should have thought about having Sunny ride on the back for IFR Day. It'd be even better. IFR Day is not till Saturday, so you can still, even if you can't join us, you can still put Sunny on the back of your bike and ride around for IFR Day. Make him do his daily vlog from there, and document that. And maybe he should do a vlog what it's like to be on the back for the day.
Hey, he's lost a lot of weight, so he's almost like girl weight back there.
Well,
careful, Sonny. I think Bagger's getting a crush on you.
Good looking man.
They have a few days. They can make it from Florida to Arkansas. It's no big deal.
That's right.
Paul's in the house, 1 hour late, but I'm here. Thanks for joining us, Paul. It's good to see you again. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. The chat's been trucking along here.
Hey, Carrie, are you going to have food after the run at Switchback?
So we have our menu. We've got cheeseburgers, burgers, hot dogs, our chicken strips, our onion rings. I mean, we can feed you guys for sure. Fries. all that good
Spicy
stuff. All that
chicken
good stuff.
sandwich.
All that, yeah, that chicken sandwich, buffalo. Yeah, that's a big one.
Not that I've had a few.
You're serving beer. Any
I'll-
other beverages?
Yeah.
Terry, you guys doing anything other than beer and like soda? Do you guys have? I know the laws down there are so weird.
I have live music and burnouts if you want.
I think what he's
Yes, you
getting at is
do.
you guys you don't serve hard liquor, so people might
So we're
not know
looking
that.
at that. That will probably happen in June. So yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, I know. Yep. So right now, the ladies can come back. I can feed them, and they can do some burnouts.
All right, Angie. Of course, I got your back. You tell Sonny that he's got to do it for IFR Day. He's got to do it for all the ladies everywhere.
Hey, Carrie, did I see on YouTube that during a spring fling, some gal did a burnout in the bar?
She sure did.
I thought I saw that.
She did, and
Very impressive.
that she's going to be joining us for this ride.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, anybody in the chat got any questions for the ladies? Ladies, do you have any messages you want to share or get out while we're still on IFR?
I'm excited for the event. I hope that you guys can make it out. It's going to be a good time. Thank you to you ladies for leading the ride. I'm like so honored to have you a part of this. So it means a lot. So really looking forward to it.
All right. Well, I haven't seen any questions in the chat yet. They're either going to be really long questions, and we're going to get 20 of them, or everybody has already asked them or brought it up. I hope everybody is supported and enjoyed having the ladies on here and stuff. So here's my goal is to start riding in a year or so. What is a good beginner bike? And we'll let each of you answer this because you're going to get probably 4 different answers, but maybe they can explain why they particularly like that bike or think that bike's the right choice. And then maybe one of those things will ring true with you.
My first bike, I have to say, it was a Sportster 883. The weight was perfect. And I'm very, very confident in beginning to ride with that I honestly didn't think that I was going to get rid of it. So I would highly recommend that.
Ray, what do you think? And Ray's Moto Life says he's coming out next year for Spring Fling. He saw way too many YouTubers out here having fun without him, and he's planning on being there.
I have to say a soft tail. I say that because I think they sit a little bit lower to the ground, and you can kind of sit into the bike and be a little more comfortable.
Very, very low seat height, low center of gravity. They're easy to control.
I think that's why you see a lot of female riders on Heritages because they have one of the lowest seat heights for a soft tail.
I love mine. I absolutely love mine.
All right, Firecracker, what is going to be your recommendation?
My recommendation is number 1, don't just go for the pretty bike and your favorite color.
Learn that.
For your first bike. 2 would be a used bike, like even a Honda or like they said, a Softail, because they're not real heavy, but make sure you get something that you're not afraid to drop or hurt, because your first bike, you're going to drop it. I mean, I'm sure most people do. And mainly I would sit on some and kind of see what you feel comfortable with, but like Ray said, a soft tail, because, that or, a hot little Honda is a good bike to learn on. Depending on how big you are, a Rebel 250 is actually, that's what Mike taught me on. The only thing about it is it was so small, I felt cramped up on it. So you have to be really, to feel comfortable in that, I feel like you have to be kind of a shorter, smaller person than, even me. So, but that's my opinion.
Doc Hart, we've got another one coming next year too. I'm planning on coming out Spring Fling next year as well. Doc Harley,
Cool.
we're bringing those guys are both east of Missouri, somewhere out there. So I don't want to say exactly where they're from. If they want to say they can, but so we're getting more people coming from further away. They're out like Busted Knuckles and beyond kind of territory. All right, honey. What?
I'm sorry, 87 Ricer just put on there. So a 250 Rebel would, or is that enough for this route? Yes, ladies, men too, whatever you ride. I mean, if it'll do 55 mile an hour, bring it along, go on the ride with us. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not. There's no speed limits above 55, and there's a few places maybe coming across 12 where there's a straight there, here and there where we might get up to 55, but most of this is going to be below 55 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The only place we would get over 55 mile an hour would be coming into Rogers on the 4-lane.
Guys,
Mhm.
I think Carrie's got to go. She's cutting out. Is that what you're saying, Carrie? You got to go?
yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, my
All
bad.
right.
I hope to see you guys on Saturday.
All right.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Bye. Can't wait to see you.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
All right. So, Sonny, what's going to be your answer?
I would say first off, sit on some things.
Mhm.
And have someone come with you that can hold the bike upright off of the kickstand so that you can feel, can you touch the ground when it's upright? Can you feel comfortable all the way through from your
Having both
legs,
feet-
from your back? Yeah,
having your
having
feet
both
off-
feet on the
Off the
ground.
gra-
Um,
having both feet off the ground to see where the peg position is.
Exactly. Because, when I rode Willie's street bikes, I could definitely put my feet on the ground, but I put my foot on the pegs and I was so uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, just have someone come with you, but see how it feels to sit on them. And I would honestly say something like 650 to like 900 maybe. And I say that because of the issues that I had with my 650 V-Star, like not being able to get out of traffic on the highway. Once you feel comfortable getting on the highway, it's really important that you have that power to get up and out of it. Now, you're not going to be there right away, but you don't want to outgrow what you have the season after you get it.
I think that concept there's kind of another side to it, and it just depends on your situation. But if you are planning that maybe you live in a rural area, you're not going to get out on the highway much or anything else. If you can pick up a 650 or a 250 cheap,
Mm-hmm.
where you're not going to lose any money on it, and you ride it, whether it's 6 months or a year or 3 months, it doesn't matter. If you can sell it and get your money back out of it, that's still may not be a bad way to go. And I only say that because, I bought a 250 strictly to teach people to ride on. That was the whole purpose of the bike, so if you can find someone that has one that, will teach you how to ride and let you ride around the parking lot. I loaned mine to a friend for his girlfriend, and she rode it for 3 or 4 months, about wore back tire off of it, and he put a new one on there for me. But I think you have to think about your situation, and that can play a part in that. But if you don't want to have to buy a bike after a year, then you definitely don't want to start on something too small.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think everything's situational.
Yeah. And it's just something for people to think about. Am I in a situation where I can buy something cheap now and I'm okay selling it in a year and moving up? Or if this financially is a stretch for you to buy something now, do you want to take that risk? And everybody's gonna have to kind of make those decisions for themselves. But I think I tell a lot of people, like a 750 Honda is a great place to start out.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5-10 years old, because if you drop it, you're not dropping your $8,000 Harley you just bought. You're not going to be as upset, and it's not going to maybe set you back mentally because you're worried about dropping it and scratching it, and this is your dream bike because you started out on your dream bike. And I think that's kind of where Firecracker started out at.
Mhm.
Is that was some of her perspective. She bought her first bike based on some
Color and sound.
I mean, you know, she didn't take it for a test ride. They didn't
Well, I'll say something else too. And so many people, men and women both, there's that hesitancy. Can I ride? Should I do it? Will I be able to take the chance, buy a bike? It just might change your life. If it's not for you, you can always sell it later. We see that happen a lot. But what if it does actually change your life?
Toby's kind of in that ballpark that I'm in. Starting out, don't spend more than $2,000 or $3,000 on it. That way, if you don't like it, it's a small loss. It's easy to sell, and that may not be the situation for everyone. But if you're financially concerned about the investment and being able to do it and get out of it, if you don't like it, if you're not confident it's going to be part of your lifestyle forever, then that's a good way to go. And I mean, I've seen people who jumped into other bikes. The other thing is, a lot of people selling bikes used may not be willing to let you take a bike out for a test ride before they buy it. Some will, some won't. Maybe you have a friend that has a bike like that, if you've taken a course, they'll let you take it around the parking lot or down the block and back just so you can get a feel for it. I'm a big proponent of taking the safety courses. I've been riding since I was 12 years old. So I'm pushing 30 years. And what was it? Right after you took the safety course, Firecracker, 4 or 5 years ago, I took what they call the BRC2, the advanced level. And they made me stretch as a person, grow as a person. They made me do things outside my comfort zone on my 900-pound bagger, because you take your own bike and you have to do the maneuvers on your bike, not on their bike. So, it was a great experience and I highly recommend it. I'm big on the safety classes, but if you go take a safety class, they're going to have bikes there that you can sit on. They'll probably let you sit on 2 or 3. They might even, like at lunch, let you take a couple of, if they have different models. Like Harley's all going to be the same model, but like the safety courses we had, they had a Kawasaki, they had a Honda, they had a Suzuki. These are all like little 250s or 125s and stuff for the safety course, but you could sit on different bikes and see, oh, I like the foot position out here. I don't like my feet being under my knees or things like that. And, if you get a little experience and you got your license, this is how Firecracker found her dream bike. Go to the demo events, find the Harley demo event, go ride every motorcycle you can, go ride it. You may not think you like it. You may ride it and realize you absolutely don't like it, or maybe I like it better than I thought I would. I've rode just about everything that Harley Davidson has in the lineup in the last 3 years. I go to demo events. We're going to go on the 13th, and I'm going to get up early that morning and be there when the demo truck opens up, so I can go ride, the Nightster Special, because that's a brand new bike that they have. And I might even ride that damn Road Glide 3 just to say I've rode one, because I've never rode a trike. But it helps me as a content creator to give other people advice or to talk from at least some level of experience about it if I rode it. If I haven't rode it, I have no experience, and I have no business being overly opinionated on it. So demo events are a great way to find a bike that fits you.
But you have to have your license first.
You do have to have your full license, so go take the course. All right, let's see here. Go to demo rides. I got that one right. Me and Ray are on the same page. Justin says it changed mine at 42-year-old when I bought my first one. And we've got Amy in the house. Hey, Amy. Exactly why I started on my Honda Fury. It was light, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue learning how to ride. Once I got comfortable, that's when I started. That's when I wanted a bigger bike. We were at whatever that is, Harley Davidson, Ohio, a year and a half ago, and the guy was buying a Sportster S as his first bike ever, and with no MSF training. Guy said he's going to ride around the parking lot until comfy and then go. And that may be how some people do it. We have a friend who tells everybody, "Oh, just get on it and ride it." That's how she learned. That's not for everybody, and that's not what I preach. But to each his own. We really want you want to ride the trike because your feet don't touch the ground. Yeah, that's it.
We had to laugh. We were at Springfield Harley, sitting there, and a guy had just bought a trike, and it was funny to watch him out in the parking lot because he had his feet planted firmly on the ground while his wife got on the back. And then he looked back over his shoulder. Okay, you ready, honey? And then he's realized, oh, I got my feet on the ground. I'm on a trike now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure some of that's a habit.
Habit.
Yeah. Star 650, Vulcan S, Triumph, Honda 750, Royal Enfield, Sportsters are some good bikes to look at for a first bike. Again, the best thing I can tell you is try as many as you can find. Get on Facebook, and hell, even if they won't let you ride them, go sit on them, and you'll get it. You go say, I'm thinking about this bike. Let me sit on it and see how comfortable I feel. You may start scratch them off a list right away. Oh, I don't like forward controls, or I don't like mids. Firecracker does not like mid controls. I'm going to tell you now. She rode the Street Bob. She didn't like it. She rode Lowrider S. She didn't like it. Rode the Sport Glide with forward controls, and she's like, I'm in. Ergonomics and comfort are a big thing.
Mhm.
All right. You guys got any messages out there for the lady riders and stuff that you want to share?
Buy the damn bike.
Yeah.
Take a chance. Live life.
I know this much. I up here in Kansas City, I ride with a pretty big group of people, and 4 or 5 different occasions that I've had females on the back. They get a feel for how I'm riding, and they're like, this looks like a lot of fun. And they all went out and bought their own bikes, and now they ride with us all the time. It's great.
If you're in doubt, and I'm going to say this to ladies, if you're in doubt and you're on the edge and you talk to your friends and they don't encourage you, then you need to reevaluate your friends. So that's another thing, because I do hear, and I don't see it in my group, and I hope I never see it in my group of friends, but I do hear that there are some groups of people out there who discourage women from riding their own and stuff, and don't think they should, or whatever else. And and I'm not talking about the club scene, but I'm just talking like guys who ride around the group and they don't think women should ride their own bike, or they don't think they'll be able to keep up, or whatever their ego's gotten in the way of and telling them. But if you've got friends that you ride with and you hang around with, and they're not supportive when you ask questions, or you want to learn, or you talk about learning to be your own rider, to be a solo rider, then I would reevaluate your friendships there, and maybe look to grow your circle.
I know when I first started riding, I was always put up front. And I just really did not like that, because I couldn't see what I should be doing. And instead I was being too busy being nervous about what am I doing right or what am I doing wrong, blah, blah, blah. I quit riding with that person, and I actually went and started riding on my own, and I started riding better. And then I started following people, and that just helped me a lot more. And so if you know someone who is learning how to ride, let them follow you. That way you can kind of see what you're doing and take it easy on them. Don't be speeding,
Don't run off and leave them. If you can't see them in your mirror, you need to slow down.
Yep.
Well, and Ray and I have several other female friends, Firecracker included, in this area, that ride and actively encourage and help other women to get on their own.
All right.
I know I've been really blessed to have the hubby watching Bert on the back of his bike, because he's usually the leader, and then our good friend Gary follows, so it's like a little honey sandwich everywhere we go, because in my area there's not too many girls that ride, and there are, they don't want to ride with us. And I'm just so excited for this weekend that hopefully we can spread our wings a little bit and find some more girls that might want to ride with us in this area too.
Well, you guys need to come down like Bowman did and hang out with me and Firecracker and Bill and Ray Ray. We have quite a few
Absolutely.
female riders in our group on a pretty consistent basis. There's usually, Firecracker and 2 or 3 others most of the time that are riding their own.
Hey, we'll be in your area June 3rd for that benefit.
And May 13th.
Okay, excellent.
And we actually I need to talk to your husband if he's going to be coming this way anytime with the truck where he can haul a donation back for us, because it's a big fire pit and some chairs that me and Mike and Bonnie and Kevin are donating to it.
To the ice hole.
Okay.
Find a way to get
Yeah,
it
I'll go ahead and hit him up and I'll let him know. I think he's watching, or he was watching anyway right now.
Right.
So
He's probably playing with Bert.
no, Bert's actually inside. He's whining. Willie and Gary were doing something for raffle tickets for the June 3rd benefit.
Right on.
For the ice hole benefit. So they're out doing that right now.
Well, we'll be there May 13th for the Ozark Rides Rally, and we're actually coming up Friday night. So we'll get to town Friday night. A friend of ours lives up there that's got a spare room. He's going to let us crash with him. So we'll see you the 12th or something, and we're going to be over at Harley Davidson all day on the 13th. A lot of our friends will probably come up and stuff. So, and I think we're going to stay the night the 13th and come home the 14th. So maybe we can do an ice hole night or something.
Yeah, we might be able to do that. I think as we are leaving for the Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival, I think on that Monday. But that weekend, I think we're free other than our work schedule.
Yeah, we had my daughter's graduation that weekend. Otherwise, we were going to try to go to that thing in Tennessee.
Do ladies think much about public perception when riding, slow maneuvering, backing into park, stuff like that? Do you worry about people watching you or what they think of you when you're doing those things?
No, I just worry about myself and how I'm doing.
Sometimes for me, like if we are gonna park like on the side of a public street and we're all backing in, and I have a car waiting behind me, waiting for me to get parked, I get a little bit nervous, but not too bad.
So Ray, you'll have to watch out for Hani and Bert and Will. They'll be at TMMR. Mike Bowman will too. But so this little face right here, you can watch out for her at Loretta Lynn's, and she'll probably be walking around with the puppy dog. And this guy, we'll describe him as not skinny. Will's a pretty good size feller. So
I'm a good cook.
Yeah, she's a good cook. Will's a good guy. And Bert's not skinny either.
No, I'm a good cook.
So you can find them at, Riding with the Mermaid and Bert the Biker Dog, and that'll help you recognize them. And shoot them a message on Facebook or Instagram. I'm sure they'd be happy to look up. Ray has a channel also. We met him at Cycle Showcase in St. Louis. He was there when you guys were up there. I don't know if you got to.
Okay, nice.
So, see here. Jay had a comment. Hardest I've ever tried to keep up with the ride was a 60-year-old lady on a tri-glide. And I think Randall must know her because he wants to know if her name was Ivy. And is that Ivy Carroll from the K River? Is that who we're talking about, Randall? I have not rode with her, but I'm wondering if that's her name. So we met a lady down there on a trike. So Dallas Face Mullet will be there too. So some people in the chat. So I guess, if there's nothing else for the ladies, if you want to stay, you are absolutely welcome to stay. But if you guys want to sign off, you got other stuff to do, that's fine. I think me and Steve are going to talk about some of the Harley news because I know people have been asking and sending me messages, and I haven't got a video out about it yet. Harley released 4 motorcycles today. They had their financial call last week. They released the CVOs, and I have not talked about any of that in a live since it happened. It's all been in the last 2 weeks. So thank you guys for joining. And like I said, if you don't want to stay, now's your chance to drop out. If you want to stay and talk crap with the rest of us the rest of the night, that's all cool too.
I think we are gonna go ahead and get out of here because I have to get up at 3:00 in the morning.
All
So do
right.
I gotta pee like twice a night.
So,
Well, I need my beauty sleep because what I'm getting isn't working, obviously.
so Randall said, yes, it was Ivy Carroll. She's a beast. So we met her at K River.
This one here is a beast too.
Can you put their channel in the side chat? I will try, but I actually don't have any other windows open. I'll have to open up a window, but
Hang on, I had it up.
Firecracker is going to get on it. They're mostly, well, Witchcraft has a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And Riding, Riding with the Mermaid, do you have your own YouTube started yet?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
We have to say we are overwhelmed with the response that we got after Spring Fling. We can't thank everybody enough. We are just starting out as YouTubers, and the response that we have got is humbling, to say the least. We'd like to thank everybody who has checked us out and supported us so far.
So I'm about to put the link in for Witchcraft Cycle Works.
I thought I was doing it.
Okay, then
I
fine.
am
You do
working
that.
on. No, go right on ahead. Go right on
I
ahead.
beat-
I
I
was
beat-
working on it.
Well,
God.
yeah. So Amy's got a comment here. I have to jet, but want to tell the ladies to have a safe Saturday for Tire Pay. Kale has his 13th surgery Friday, so we'll miss it again this year.
We've been praying for Kale.
Yes. Yeah, Kale was in a motorcycle accident, and he's their son, and 13 surgeries later, but he just keep on keeping on. And he's working his way through it. So there's the link to Witchcraft Cycle Works, and we'll do some Facebook links unless Firecracker's got those already.
Nope, you
Right.
go right on ahead. I
You
gave up.
you can type in
Yeah.
Witchcraft Cycle Works to Google or any search engine. I think I should have it set up where you'll find us, Facebook or YouTube. Shouldn't be hard to find us.
Get Witchcraft here real quick, and then we'll get Hani's link out there.
Oh, hey, while we're doing all that, I got to thinking that now the IFR, these rides are occurring all over the United States. Isn't that correct?
Mhm.
All
Yes.
over the world.
Global.
All over the world.
So
International.
for those that aren't near this area, reach out maybe to your Harley Davidson dealership, somebody, and find out where the local ride is for your area.
Yeah, I know there was one that I did last year with a girlfriend of mine, and it was based out of Gateway Harley in St. Louis. And there was probably, I say of around 50 females that was on that one.
Bert, the biker dog, is on Instagram and YouTube. Is he on anything else, Hani?
TikTok. He's
And
on TikTok as well. Yes.
I'm not putting his link out there. This is Hani's night.
Somebody is asking
Well,
about it, so shut your mouth.
he-
Mike.
He will be there. And I think we are donating one of the shirts for the raffle. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a bunch of shirts on Thursday or Friday before we come down. And so we'll have some Burt shirts for the ride.
Nice. I got my machine for free, and I'm going to start making my own shirts, just so you know.
Nice.
And we're
Very
going to
nice.
come up with some good saying shirts and start selling them.
Very nice.
Yeah, so she's got one that she already had made that says "fuck around and find out." She's looking at that done.
That sounds just like you, April.
I'm going to get one that says I come in peace, and then I'm going to get one for her that says I'm peace.
Oh, y'all are ate up.
Yeah.
You know, I
Here's to
thought
honor, get honor, and stay honor.
There you go. Man, I'm gonna have to write these down now. Come on.
I ride in the Ozarks where we eat pussy and not pavement.
Oh my god.
Right. Oh, good Lord.
Sorry. I gave everybody a chance to get off the street before it got
I
bad.
still
but
got all my
we're-
teeth, so you know my answer.
It's an hour. It's an hour and 30 minutes in. It's time to cut loose.
I mean,
Who's not
on
even-
that note, I'm ready to cut loose, but I think I should probably take off.
All right.
I gotta let those kiddos outside.
Are you
All
leaving
right.
on Thursday, Friday, Saturday? When are you coming?
Our plan is to come up on Friday or come down on Friday.
We're planning to leave in the morning sometime Friday, but we're also watching the weather. If it's going to be too bad, we may decide to leave Friday night after work or something. So we're
I mean,
still
Thursday
watching
night.
the weather to decide. Or yeah, Thursday night after work.
See, we both have to work on Friday, so
Okay.
it'll be
You're
sometime
Where are you
Friday.
guys staying at?
I think Holiday Island.
Oh, okay. We're in. You're camping, aren't you?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. We got at the Quality Inn. So
Yeah, we're pinching pennies, so we're we're
nope,
camping with Mike Bowman.
Hey, that's just as good as a motel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we bring all our own gear. We're great to go.
Who
All
cooks
right,
when
you guys-
camp? You said you're a good cook. Do you cook or does Bowman cook?
Well, he's got the toy hauler, so he's gonna have all this stuff with him. But I'm more than welcome, or I'm more than happy to help him.
All right. All right. We want to thank everybody in the chat that's tuned in. We're not going anywhere yet. We're just going to say goodbye to Ray and Hani. And Firecracker, are you staying on or are you taking a break?
I'm going to stay on, but I'm just going to step out in the garage for a minute.
All right. Thank you guys all for tuning in and supporting all these ladies. And if you want to talk about CVOs, the Highway King or the Fast, what was it
That's
called?
Johnny.
Fast Johnny. Yeah. You want to talk about the Fast Johnny bikes that were released today? That's what we're going to talk about next. So.
They all jumped off before I said bye. I'll be back.
All right. All right, Steve. What do you think we should start with? I guess should we let the chat ask what they're most interested in talking about? CVOs were 2 weeks ago. I heard and some of this stuff comes out in delay, but the 5 Dirty Bikers had a podcast today where they were talking about the CVO, and that was actually recorded before it was officially announced by Harley Davidson. So if you guys have not heard, or if you have questions about the Street Glide, CVO, and Road Glide, Harley Davidson did confirm them in the press release. They did not give specs on a lot of things, but it does say all new suspension, all new infotainment center, 121 variable valve timing engine, and all new lighting and dramatic visual changes, the fairings, the lighting, that kind of stuff. That's all changing. So what do you think about that, Steve?
I think it was needed. For those that do ride the Indian Challenger, they were loving some of those features on that bike, and I think Harley had to finally step up its game, and it looks like they're out to compete and take back over what's been theirs for a long time.
So, did you see anything there that made you question whether it's going to be time for an upgrade? Maybe even if it's not a CVO, if it filters down to the Street Glide Special or Road Glide Special in the next year or two, is there enough changes there that when that happens that you're going to maybe be, thinking, is it time to upgrade? I mean, we're talking possibly a monoshock rear end. It says all new suspension, inverted front forks, variable valve timing. It's still hard to say, but I'm thinking there might be a little bit of water cooling and oil cooling going on based on looking at that radiator in the front. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there. A whole new infotainment center. What are you thinking, Steve?
Well,
Are you reaching for your wallet yet? Or are you thinking about saving up?
yeah. Well, so I did a lot of research and I saved up before I bought the bike I have now, which is a 17 Road Glide. And I bought that bike and stripped it all the way down and made a custom bagger out of it. So it's literally my dream bike. And I always enjoy going to Harley dealerships, and they would talk to me about upgrading. I'm like, dude, I got a nicer bike than anything you got in here, because it's exactly what I wanted. But with all that said, they finally may have a bike where I might want to sell my dream bike.
I think
some of those features.
I think a frame change with a monoshock rear end, inverted front forks, variable valve timing engine. Those things are the things that are probably the most interesting to me. The suspension and the engine, if that turns out to be a little bit of a liquid cooled engine to help with heat, and if the performance numbers are, where they think they might get them with variable valve timing, because one of the things people don't realize, and I'm not saying they will do it, but they can do it, is higher compression. The Pan America is a higher compression engine because of variable valve timing. They use that variable valve timing to retard or advance the valves to make it easier to start, even though it's a higher compression engine. So, those are interesting things. The integrated lights are, I've done a bunch of lighting changes on my bike. My lights are pretty, I'm good with, but that suspension, inverted front forks, and if they, monoshock rear end is really turns out to change the performance and the handling a lot, and that motor, I could, maybe see putting the decorative bat wing up on the wall in the shop and putting the factory bat wing back on it. And I'll be at 80 or 90,000 miles by then. That might be the right time.
Yeah. I know the group that I ride with, we were all into making our bikes look pretty. And maybe since the STs came out and that's gained popularity, we're definitely moving toward performance. Having a powerful motor, having, where the bike feels comfortable with suspension. Those are starting to outweigh it looking pretty. So I think that's the direction we're going in.
I think, one of the things about living here in the Ozarks is performance maybe matters a little more here, at least for handling and suspension, than it might in other stretches of the neighborhood. I mean, it probably doesn't make you a lot of difference in Kansas how well it corners.
No. We got one corner, one tree, and one stop sign. That's it.
Yeah. So, Dallas says, my kids don't need college as much as I need a 2024 Harley. Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you, Dallas, best thing you can do for your kids is make them pay for their own college. They'll appreciate it a whole lot more, and they'll work a lot harder at it if it's their money and not your money. So, Jay says the 2024 Street Glide has his wallet on low heat. Not burned a hole in my pocket just yet, though. So, Firecracker, I'm sure probably none of that did anything for you because you don't care about Street Glide or Road Glide, either one. You're not looking to move up to a touring bike yet, are you?
Not until I try one out. I am actually going to jump off of here. I'm going to start packing my bag because I've got stuff the rest of the week that I want to have it ready. So,
all right.
I'm going to get off of here.
All right. She's going to get off here. So,
how many people do we got on the live right now?
We're still up around 27. So.
It's going to drop dramatically here in a couple seconds.
No, it's not. You guys talk enough bullshit to keep it going.
So
All right. See you
Ray
guys
says,
later.
I don't like the Highway King. So I want to ask Ray a question. Ray, if you don't like the Highway King, do you like the Road King, at all? Because, I mean, the Highway King is essentially a Road King with the ass or the seat of a Revival and 16-inch wheels. I mean, if you guys, if you haven't done any, like looking at the specs yet, I ran through them today. So I'll run you down what the difference between the Highway King and the Road King, because I went through them. The Highway King got a 114, where the Road King last year was a 107 still. So the weight went up 20 pounds. So we're now just over 800 pounds. We got 16-inch wheels instead of 18-inch wheels, front and back. So why would you go down 2 inches on the wheels? Well, that's to bring the bike down an inch. So we got lower ground clearance. We got lower lean angle, or less lean angle. The other thing we've got is a 12-inch low profile shock instead of the 13-inch standard shock. So we now got 2.15 inches of travel in the rear instead of 3 inches of travel in the rear. And you know why we're doing all that, Steve?
I do.
Because we got a big, tall ass fucking seat on there.
Big ass seat sitting up there.
So even after all those changes, dropping the height and the suspension and everything, trying to get that bike lower, the seat height unladen, well, no, actually laden, is still 3 inches higher on the Highway King than it is Road King. And if you compare the pictures, which I did today, I don't have it right now, but it'll be in a video. The bars you can see are a little taller above the tank on the Highway King they are on the Road King, because your seating position is going to be a little higher. So the Highway King isn't for anybody that's short. So you'll be okay, Ray. You could ride one, but I just, it looks similar, but I don't care for the colors, and I don't care for the seat. The bags look a little different. Yeah, so the bags are the birch white.
Yeah.
They're
I
going.
like the orange one. The orange one's not bad, and the magenta, which is basically kind of a pink. Depending on who's riding it,
So Jay says I'm out on the Highway King, and he rides a Road King. So it's not going to talk him into. I forgot to mention another important difference. You know what that is? $7,000.
Oh, that's
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
it was 19.2 for a Road King last year, and this is 27,000. So even with inflation on the Road King, would probably still only been about 20,000. So it's probably a $7,000 difference for that paint set, and the fact that it's limited edition, and then the 114 upgrade, which is worth a few thousand. I mean, they've always jumped them a few thousand over the 114 option over the 107 for bikes that had both. So my buddy Jerry here, he's a heritage guy, and he says now we can talk about firecrackers since she's off packing. Jerry, if you're feeling frisky, you go right ahead. But brother, I don't think you can outrun her with that bum leg right now. He actually went down on the way to BBB last year and had to have surgery and stuff. So he's still recovering, but he has bought a new bike already. He's got a new Heritage, not brand new, but new to him. And he's working his physical therapy, and he's going to get his ass back on it. So
good. Yeah. And Heritage is such a great bike.
But he can outrun Firecracker. So I'd be careful about talking about her.
Yeah.
I bet those bars are from the Heritage. That's a common bar swap. I don't think they really were, Jay. I mean, they really just looked like they were the same bars tilted up, pushed up. When I looked at them in the picture, I mean, everything else looked exactly the same. They didn't do the kind of mini ape style, more like the Heritage has, but maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't compare it to a Heritage, but it looked to me when I looked at the Road King and Highway King, like it's the same bars, about, an inch and a half, because the seat's up 3 inches. And
do you think that bike, and I think, did you say that there's 750 of them being made in the magenta and 1,000
in the orange, 750 in the magenta?
So that's not a lot of bikes. Is this basically for that super wealthy dude that just wants to throw another iconic bike in his garage and
he's old enough to remember his dad having. He's old enough to remember his dad having a 1968 FLH, or he's or maybe he even had one, although that'd be it's possible, but that's a smaller market. But I'd say it's more for the guy that remember his dad having one. He's seen pictures of the one his dad had, and he wants to have one, and he's got money. I mean, 27,000 is not the end of the world. It's not it's
No.
not like CVO money, but still, it's a
Yeah.
$27,000 bike before surcharges and setup and whatever freight and whatever other stuff they can con you into.
And if you're thinking, hey, I want to buy this bike and I'm going to ride it all over hell. I mean, there's so many other bikes that you'd rather pick, wouldn't there? I mean,
yeah, this is, I mean, Kraken's Garage, he bought a revival bike and he does ride it and he's done a few things to it and stuff. But I think the majority of these people that buy these bikes are going to leave them very close to what they are. I mean, that's the kind of the attraction to them is how they look. So they're not going to probably customize them a lot. But I would say if it was me, I would upgrade the lighting because there is not an LED on that bike anywhere. $27,000 and it's all halogen bulbs from front to back.
I mean, Harley Davidson, listen to your people.
But it's
We've
got to
all been
look.
bitching for the last 4 or 5 years. Put fucking LEDs in your bikes.
But it's got to look like a 1968 FLH.
Fuck that. No. People want LEDs and make it look retro. You got designers that can come up with that stuff.
Hey, Dallas says maybe we just like to collect bikes. You heard Dallas is on Monkey's shit list.
Uh-oh.
He bought a Honda. I think Monkey had to go cry for a little while in the corner. He was not happy. So agreed, Doc Harley. I'll go check the new models out just to see and appreciate them, but I'm not in the market. I'm definitely not in the market for anything they released today. And I'm not in the market for a CVO. That's out of my price range. But when some of that stuff trickles down to road glides and street glide specials, that'll be a decision I'll have to think about.
Yeah.
I just did my suspension, so my handling's better. I doubt it's as good as inverted front forks, but it's better. But the other side of the coins, another 2 years will be another 20, 30,000 miles on the bike. I'll be pushing, 80, 90,000 miles. Maybe it'll be time.
Yeah.
These are bikes for Jay Leno.
I agree with that. I think that's who's going to buy this bike.
He's going to have to buy all 1,700 of them, isn't he?
Yeah, he could do it.
All right. So what do you think about these Fast Johnny bikes?
Just a standard bike with and I will say, pretty cool looking paint job. They're going back into the nostalgia of the muscle cars from the 60s and 70s, that predominantly blue and white. So I love the color, I love the scheme, but it's the same old bike that they've been making for years now. So I don't know.
Well, I mean it's really just a paint set. I mean, everything in the press release says it's a paint set. It's a limited edition paint set. This is the enthusiast bike. They're basing it on the performance class. The only bikes that got this paint set were all STs, the Lowrider ST, the Street Glide ST, the Road Glide ST. If you go to the Road Glide ST or the Street Glide ST or any of those pages on Harley Davidson's website, when you look at the paints, they just list this as another option. I mean, I'm sure they listed under the enthusiast section as well for collections and stuff. But if you go to the Street Glide ST, you'll see the Fast Johnny paint set listed now. There was one thing about the Highway King I forgot to mention. One other thing that they added. It gets all of the rider safety aids factory, which is another $1,000. So for that 27 grand, they're pushing the rider safety aids on you, whether you want them or not. Jay says the Fast Johnny isn't as cool as that Arctic Blast. And, I will say, I don't think the price tag for the paint set is out of range for what it should be. I know somebody's going to say, oh, I can paint that myself, for less. The question isn't whether you can paint it yourself for less. The question is, would you paint it for somebody else for less? I think it's $1,900 for the Lowrider ST and $2,900 for the Street Glide or the Road Glide. So, would you paint that for $3,000 or for less than $3,000 for someone else? And that means, prepping a bike and buying the paint and painting it all and clearing it, putting up with whatever. Hey, there's a scratch here. You know, this isn't polished, or there's a fleck or a spot in it, or, you know, anything else that they're going to bitch and moan about. And that's the thing. It's easy to say I can do that for less when you're not counting your own time and labor. But if you were doing it as a business and charging somebody else for it, that changes the whole aspect of it.
If you're the painter and it's your bike, yeah, maybe.
You know, and like I did the video on the Let's Roll Dolly and Lift, and a lot of people are like, well, I could build one for $100. First off, they're talking about the dolly, not the jack, because most of them are not going to build the jack, because it's more than just, you know, a couple of welds and some square tubing and some holes. The jack has got moving parts on it, but the dolly's probably easier to build, but it's not necessarily cheaper. And I mean, you know, I had guys say, oh, I could buy a Harbor Freight table for that. Well, you sure could, but I got a buddy that's got a Harbor Freight table and a scissors jack, and we ended up putting his bike on my Let's Roll Dolly this weekend because he wanted to put a 21-inch wheel on it, and he couldn't get it stable enough that he was concerned about it falling off the table once he put it on the scissors jack, trying to get the front end up, you know, and trying to have it strapped and things and stuff. And he just wasn't comfortable with dropping his Ultra on the ground on, you know, those situations. We put it down on that Let's Roll Dolly and Lift and put it on there, and that thing was rock solid stable. We were able to get the wheels swapped out, and yeah, he's actually in the chat. It's Randy, you know, and he said it worked great. And that's what I say, you know, it's a different beast. But I got all these comments, a lot of comments saying, oh, I could build it for less. I could build it for less. Well, you're not paying yourself to build it, and you're probably not powder coating it. You're getting somebody to powder coat it. You're not paying and someone else to powder coat it like a business would. You're not treating it like a business.
You know, there's always going to be those guys out there that are good with their hands, but what they have to remember is the majority of us aren't good at wrenching or welding or whatever. So
well, just like Dark Harley said here, don't forget the cost of the tools, or the welder, or the powder coating machine, you know, the tools, whatever it is, the drill press, you know, all those things, the cutoff saw. I happen to have a cutoff saw. I happen to have a drill press. I don't have something to powder coat it, but I know somebody that could. But, you know, it's just great, you know. So XAN Biker says, I love my Let's Roll Dolly. He's got one. Randy says, I'll be getting one. I'm going to tell you, you know, you know, not to be doing a sales pitch, but I'm, you know, just, you know, really impressed with it. Everything we've used it for, it works. It works like it should. I never thought I would be that impressed with it when I agreed to try one out. But, you know, if I had to go buy one, or if I needed one, I would now, having used this one, I would save my money up and buy this one. I wouldn't buy a cheaper one. I've used cheaper ones.
Yeah.
And that's why I have professional lift tables. Not a fan of the Harbor Freight. Yeah, I actually have a Redline Sands lift table. But, you know, again, you like taking the front wheel off. Mine has a stop in front of the front wheel. So we'd either have to take that out, and we'd have to block the front end and everything to take the front wheel off and get it out of there. Or the easier thing would have been to back the bike in backwards. And I've got a drop, you know, spot out of mine for the rear wheel that we could drop to pull the front wheel and drop it out. And we thought about doing that, but the Let's Roll Dolly worked great. We didn't, you know, have this thing 4 or 5 feet up in the air. So I don't have room for one, but I would like to have a jack, but I don't have anywhere to put it. And that's the other thing I mentioned to people that made comments about the Let's Roll Dolly. They're like, well, I just buy a Harbor Freight table. Not everybody wants to have a bike table sitting there empty most of the time, you know, taking up space in the garage. The Let's Roll Dolly can hang on the wall. You know, it's pretty cool. But as high as a regular small lift. Well, I don't know how high you want to raise it. I mean, it's supposed to accommodate bikes with 23-inch front wheels to get them off the ground. But yeah, it's not going to get you up 2 feet off the ground or anything like that. And it wouldn't be as stable the higher you get it. You know, I think that would be a concern more, but it does work good. I'm close to Dolly Parton. Does that work? Those are lifted too, Ray. LOL. Island in the Stream. Dolly is the superior Dolly, Ray. So now we've gotten off on the Dolly Parton thing over the Dollies, but
Big old titties.
I'm telling you, she took this when she moved out. It's easy on mine. That's what I look for when I purchase a lift table. However, I want a Let's Roll as an option to work on a third bike, cheaper than another lift table. Yeah, it's definitely cheaper. My lift table, we looked it up because somebody wanted to know how much mine was, and it's up to $1,400 now. It was $1,000 when I got it a few years ago, but post COVID, prices have gone up on stuff.
Yeah, that's a pretty common price range, about 1,400.
So we talked about the CVOs and the Highway King and Fast Johnny. I guess what we didn't talk about was why is it called Fast Johnny and what's with the damn pig on the side of the tank? So me and Steve had this conversation earlier. Should I share with them what's in the press release there?
Yeah, I think so. I saw some other press releases earlier today, and that was the first question I had is where does it had to come from something, and none of them had the answer. So
I read it, but I don't want to get it wrong. So I'm going to pull it up real quick here. It's actually in their press release, what the deal is and why they call it that, what it's inspired by. So give me just a second here and I'll have the press release up and we can even, talk about it.
I wonder if it'll say Fast Johnny on the bike itself anywhere.
So you haven't seen the picture yet on the side of the tank?
I saw it doesn't have a pig or something on there.
Yeah, so it does. I know it's in one of the photos I can find here has a really good shot of it.
Excuse me, not pig, hog.
Yes. It's so here I'll read this to you real quick. So it's a collection celebrates the Harley Davidson riders that are inspired by their stories and legacies. The Fast Johnny paint scheme taps into an iconic design theme featured on high-performance muscle cars and pony cars of the 60s and 70s, contrasting racing or rally striping over a bold base color. Blah, blah, blah. On the left, so it says the Fast Johnny character applied on the left side of the fuel tank also appears on the Harley Davidson Screaming Eagle factory team motorcycle raced in the Moto America King of Baggers series, which I didn't know. It was inspired by the story of a piglet named Johnny, adopted in 1920 by Harley Davidson racer and member of the infamous wrecking crew, Ray Wishar, which became a team mascot. The piglet often perched on the motorcycle fuel tank for a post-race victory lap and is usually cited as the source of the hog moniker that is today often applied to anything Harley Davidson. So that's what that's about. And I'm going to see if I can get you a picture here pretty quick of that, like a close-up, because I know I saw one. I downloaded it, because I knew I was going to be making a video about this at some point, if nothing else, talking about it. So, I don't have that plugged in. We'll just go get it again. It won't take but a second. So, what do you think of that story, though? I mean, do you think it's cool? Does it mean anything to you? Does it change anything?
Oh, I think history has a place in every, in this situation. I think it's kind of cool. I love learning the history of companies that I like to do business with. And so
I think knowing the story at least makes it more interesting if you buy it to why the fuck is there a pig on the side of the gas tank? Understanding
you're going to get that question. What the fuck is that pig doing on there?
So here's the page. I'm going to share this out with everybody. So that's the pig on the left side of the tank. And that's Johnny. That's it. The piglet, the hog.
Okay. Yeah. The nose makes it look like a pig. Kind of looks like an anteater. I don't know. You want that on your bike that you paid $34,000 for?
No, those. Well, Okay. You might pay that for the Street Glide ST or Road Glide ST with that paint set. I know it adds 2,900 to the bike. So you could get on Lowrider ST for less if you really got to have the pig. If you really got to have the pig, you can probably get somebody to print that thing off on a Cricut and wax it on the side of your tank.
Let's hear the side chat. What do you guys think? Do we buy a brand new bike with a pig on the side on the tank?
Hog on one side and barn shield on the other. And they thought that was a good idea to put a big ass hog on the gas tank. I could see that on the back or back bag or something.
Yeah, I'm with Ray on that.
Better get a radar detector if you get that bike. Thank you. My point exactly. Why a pig? Honestly, I think Harley Davidson needs to make a big pivot. Well, they're appealing to their older demographic that remembers when the pig used to ride on the motorcycle in the 1920s, because we all know those stories and we all knew this, right? I mean, I don't know that I consider myself an expert on Harley Davidson history, racing, and things like that, but I didn't know the story of Piglet and Fast Johnny and those things. And I think it's interesting, but yeah, I'd probably prefer that to be a something that I could take on or off the bike, not to be painted on.
Yeah.
Alf, he's in my age group. He knows what we're talking about here. Alf.
It does look like Alf.
Not me. I would not want that on my bike. 9mm James says yuck. Well, geez, it's weird looking pig, and I like it. Get a KC pig decal.
Yeah, you also like Hondas, dude.
We're gonna bust your balls now. But I mean, so like my dad's got a Springer. It's an 88. So it was the 85th anniversary edition. And you know what they did back then? They did not plaster the bike with 85th anniversary shit all over it. Other than the console that says it's a numbered bike, you would not know it was an anniversary edition because that shit all came as like or at least his, when he bought it used, he got a box of stuff that was like 85th anniversary emblems to go on the battery cover, to go on the primary, things like that. But his, either someone had taken them off and just saved them in a box and they sold it with the box, or it came separate. I don't know for sure which way it was. In 88, I was just barely 17. So depending on what time of the year it came out, because it might have come out in 87 to be in 88. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like that idea. If here's a decal, or here's a derby cover you could swap on and to have that on there if you wanted, but not be stuck with it.
Yeah.
In the paint.
Yeah. Do we know how many of those are making? Is this another limited edition?
I believe less than 2,000 total, but I don't remember seeing numbers saying which exact model.
So this might be another Jay Leno bike.
Yeah, let's see here. Going back, excuse me if I'm not looking you guys in the eye. I'm pulling the I'm reading the press release here, trying to find it. It says combined production limited to no more than 2,000 models globally, but they do not give numbers for like what style or how many per model.
Oh, that's right. Because we're talking 3 bikes, right? We're talking the Lowrider ST, the Street Glide, and the Road Glide.
Yep. A long history of military and police bikes. Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like HD did as about much marketing research on this hog on the tank as Bud Light did on the recent debacle. Yeah, there definitely could have been some market
Does
research.
this bike need training fluid? Oh, I said it. That's right.
Embrace the weird. Yeah, each to his own. I mean, if you love it, then you get right in there.
Absolutely.
I can get you a KC sticker and you can put that on your Honda. They may not know who KC is. Do you know who KC is? Probably one of the oldest rock stations in the country. They're out of St. Louis, KC 95. And
Okay.
they have like a mascot thing from the 60s or 70s or whatever, or maybe before that even. I don't know how far it goes back, but it's a pig. So we could get him a KC decal and that'd fit right in. When we would go to St. Louis, I would get to listen to KC, but that'd be like the only time I can't. I'm just out of range from being able to listen to it over the air. But now I could probably tune in on the internet and listen.
Yeah.
Sweet Meat. Yep, that's what they called the pig, was Sweet Meat. That was its name, the mascot or whatever you would call it. So, I guess maybe one other thing I'll mention on. All right, we're gonna have to get Dallas a Sweet Meat sticker to put on his bike. He said send it to me, so I'll try and find you a Sweet Meat sticker, Dallas. We'll get that out for you. There were some other things about the CVO stuff. I saw some comments. People thought Harley Davidson had to announce the CVOs because of the leaks, and that's why they announced them when they did. I have a different opinion on that. So, the real leak that kind of confirmed it was a leak out of Australia. And if you watch, historically, and you go back and you follow this like I do, Cycle World and motorcycle.com commonly get information out of Australia before it's announced in the US from the platform of, how they get a bike registered in that country or whatever it is that they submit to say, we're going to sell this bike. The deal there is Harley Davidson knows that's going to happen. It's been happening year after year after year. They probably know, 2 days after we give this to Australia, motorcycle.com is going to publish it, or Cycle World, or one of them. They know there's an expiration date once they give that to them that's going to, it's going to happen. Now, I think the leak early on with the bad pictures, I don't think that was planned. But the thing with, Australia, they knew that was going to happen. And the reason I say is that was only a few days before the official announcement. And some people have said, well, they had to announce it because it was already leaked. No, they didn't. There's been plenty of stuff leaked that they didn't announce, in the past. The Lowrider ST was, leaked, and they didn't just drop it out there and stuff. But what they did do, and if you don't follow when their investor meetings are and stuff, is their announcement on the CVOs, their official announcement, fell the day before their financial investor call, where they get on and talk to all the investors and everything else. And what they did was they turned the conversation from it being about the numbers in the investor call to this release of this bike and what they think it'll do for the company, and how they're going to, market it, and when they're going to release it at the 120th anniversary. And they gave them something else to focus and talk about. Sounds a lot like politics, doesn't it, Steve? Don't watch this. Watch this. Look
Smoking
at this.
beers?
Look at this.
Huh?
So
What?
they literally made that announcement the day before the investor call. Now,
Smart. Because their numbers were down, correct?
well, their profit per bike is not down.
No, that's true.
Their profit's not down, but their sales worldwide was down 8%. Retail sales. Okay.
Yeah.
But the number of bikes they sold to dealers, because they're not selling bikes to us, they're selling bikes to dealers, was
Right.
up. So they shipped a bunch of bikes in first quarter. So their shipments were up. They pushed more inventory into the dealerships, and from their perspective, and I wouldn't say it's wrong, they were stocking the dealers up to have inventory, through the first quarter and going into the second quarter and this and that, trying to get their inventories level higher, because last year there was still problems with inventory being low as they went into the second quarter. So they were trying to do a better job of getting that inventory level up, is how they put it. That's why they stocked the dealer inventory up. The inventory levels at the dealers were the highest they've been since COVID started. So they shipped more motorcycles and sold more motorcycles to the dealerships, but worldwide sales was down. And that was, again, it's first quarter, but they were down over previous years. It's not like from previous quarter, it's year over year. So first quarter this year was down 8% compared to first quarter of last year, not compared to last fall.
But when it wasn't it about a year ago where everybody was bitching that there wasn't any bikes to buy at the dealerships? They were all, or was that longer than that? Like
well, there was still last summer when the brake debacle happened and they had to shut down and all that. There was
parts.
there was still a lot of complaints about there not being enough inventory at the dealerships and stuff last year. So that was their thing to, get inventory levels up. That's why they pushed more bikes to the dealers and this and that. They last year when they had to shut down for the brakes, they said, "Oh, we've got plenty of time to make it up before the year's out." Now they're saying, "Well, numbers last year were low because we were shut down for 2 weeks." So we said we were going to make more bikes. We could make it up, and now we're saying, "Well, we didn't make it up. We didn't sell as many. We didn't ship as many because of that shutdown." So again, they're using that for whatever suits them, just like most statistics. Well, okay, our numbers are down. We can say this is the reason why. Though they're predicting sales are going to be down, so we're going to say, "Oh, we have time to make it up," so that people will not freak out.
Yeah.
So limited editions, just like the Dixon flannels, people are going to rush out and buy them because there's only so many, and that's the big part of that. Limited edition stuff. Hey, Dying Breed.
Supply and demand.
Can't tell that there was a limit of Dixon flannels in St. Louis. I was wearing mine, bro.
I was too.
I
love my Dixon.
I like my Dixon in the winter. Now I will say I'm a cheapskate. I buy it when it's $29 on sale or special deals and stuff. I don't go out and buy them at full price.
I like not having to iron them. That's my deal.
I don't even have to wash them.
Nice.
My dishwasher's upstairs packing. Jerry, don't tell her I said that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Thought they sponsored the event. Maybe they should talk to them about that.
Yeah. I'm surprised Dixon isn't showing up at rallies.
Oh, they are. There was some shit over this. You haven't heard that story? So you probably don't listen to Cruzy Originals. Do you listen to Fast Life Garage's podcast?
I do listen to him a little bit, not all the time.
Do you listen to Fast Life Garage's podcast? The Fast Life crew that goes to K River?
Yeah, I love that. I love that guy. He loses me pretty quick because I usually don't know who his guests are.
So Fast Life Garage had Ryan Cruzy on there, and they were talking about a rally at Colorado. And I guess the dealership that was involved, Cruzy did this party or after party and thing and something, and they sent him the agenda and it was going to be sponsored by Dixon. And he's like, "Fuck you. I'm not going." He's like,
Really?
This is my party. How dare you go put somebody else's name on it? I've built this party. I do all this. How you going to put somebody else's name on it? And I guess they, all got together and it was probably just some marketing guy who said, "Oh, Dixon's going to give us $5,000 if we put their name on something. We'll stick it on this." Well, it was something he built and people primarily came to do because of him. And so he was a little offended, and I don't blame him,
Well,
and that's that kind of it's the Edward Jones Dome or it's the Dixon Flannel Dome or whoever's paying, NASCAR. To me, it's always going to be the Winston Cup.
Well,
not
Cruzy's you're always gonna know what he's thinking.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
That's right to the chest, and some of his videos are hilarious.
Yeah. So that's because Affliction is already at the rallies, and that's for the CVO guys. But Dixon is getting into sponsoring stuff apparently because they were sponsoring something out in Colorado at this deal. So you need to get a marketing department fast, for Christ's sake. Someone please get Willie G back on the job. Yeah. Dre says mum's the words. He's not going to tell on me. Ray meant CVO. I think we figured you out with you, Ray, but thank you. Fast Life Garage is a really good podcast. Yes, they really are. I've been when I got to get out and drive at work, I throw the podcast on and listen in the background. I listen to Ozark Rides, who Steve, I haven't told you yet, but they're going to be a guest on the show. Yeah. Probably our next show right after the Ozark Rides rally. We're going to have Ozark Rides on. They have a podcast. You might want to check him out, get to know Craig. We and him talked the other day, and I've got him booked. And we're going to probably do a recap on the Ozark Rides Rally because he'll be there. So that'll be in 2 weeks.
Is it my imagination? But I think there's a number of new YouTube channels out there, motorcycle related recently. I keep seeing new ones popping up all the time that I've never seen before, which I think is great. I think it's awesome. If that's true, if I'm right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably the wrong guy to ask because at this point, I get on YouTube and I see stuff on the home screen, but if I see a video from someone like Ray or Monkey or Adam Sandoval, someone I've met in person, then they get my priority. I only have so much time I get to watch, and I try and support the people that I've actually got to meet and hang out with and develop that personal relationship and that friendship with. So I'm still big about I follow 200 plus channels, but I turn on the notification bell to all for people I've met. And so, when I see them or when I can see them, or I pull up them, if they're on the home screen, they get first dibs on what I watch. So I'm not watching probably as many new channels and giving them as much opportunity, and unless it's just a bad day, but it's kind of what I do.
Yep. I think that it's like female rider deal. The more people that get involved, I think the better for everybody.
Yeah, and Zen's thing here about the beauty of living in the United States, freedom. Who cares what people choose as their lifestyle? And I think the thing with the Bud Light and the backlash, at least in my circle, is we don't care what these people's lifestyles are. We don't care what their gender is or how they, identify or anything else. It's not about that. And we don't hate on those people. I just don't think that it warrants being on a beer can. There's, how many other 1,000 people are going through the same stuff? Why'd you pick him? Because he's an influencer. Okay. So I didn't like Jason Momoa being a spokesperson for Harley Davidson. I didn't identify with him. He's a celebrity. So I just don't, it's just not my thing. And I really wish product companies would stay away from especially the political and social stuff, quit trying to take a side. I quit watching sports when people started kneeling, and it's not whether I agree with them or not, but that's not what I came to watch. When I pick up a beer can, I don't want to be, have a conversation about social issues. And same thing when I go to watch a baseball game or something else. I don't want it to be about social or political issues. And that's just my personal thing. Everybody can have those views and they can feel and do whatever they want. But, by the same token, if I don't want to support a company because they're taking those stands, not that the side that they're on, I object to, it's just the fact I object that they're taking a side. Does that make sense?
It does. I saw a post on Facebook where a guy said, we don't care what you're doing, but we also don't want it pushed into our face all the time. You do you, boo, and I'll do me.
Right. I mean, it's the back to, you can do what you want to do. I can do what I want to do, but do you want me plastered on your beer can promoting my social platform or my social agenda? I think, not that these are not important things in our country or whatever, no matter how you view them, they're important, but you're going to alienate some of us by sticking it on a beer can or, if you're talking about it on a motorcycle or whatever else, whatever they're supporting or whoever's supporting it. And, it's, if nothing else, it's an interesting time.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, big corps need to stop picking sides on social issues. Just make the product. Those who want beer will buy beer, or in Bud Light's case, water.
Yep.
For the record. For the record.
I know Miller Lite sales are down since 2021. That's when I quit drinking.
Yeah. You know, I it's kind of like the pig thing on the Harley Davidson bike, though. I mean, what audience did they test that with? Would you pay extra for this paint job? We show you the left side. Yeah, that looks cool. Show you the right side. What the fuck is that?
No, you don't need to look at that side. That side's fine. Don't worry about it. Look at
Hey,
this side.
you notice they put the pig on the left side when they take pictures of bikes.
They put it on the
did,
uglier side. Yeah.
which side did they always show? The side with the air cleaner and the 2-in-1
Exactly.
exhaust, and
Yeah.
the bike leans to the left on the kickstand. They always want to show the right side in the promo pictures. So
Yeah. So at least they did their homework there,
yeah,
right?
like, well, it might not go over well. Let's put it on the left side.
Well, that's what prompted me to think. I mean, is this also a limited number bike? Because, I think most guys aren't going to buy that bike.
All right. Middle Tennessee says he is out. Good night. Thanks, Dallas, for joining us. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. There's the buyer who will say, what the fuck is that? And the 2000 plus who will say, oh, it's unique and different. I want one. Yeah. I mean, there'll be a market for it.
Yeah.
The question is, when he parks it in the garage, will he park the left side against the wall or the right side against the wall?
And when he pulls up to bike night, he makes sure he circles around.
I need to be at the far end of the lot where I can make sure I got the right side facing everybody. All right. Well, is there anything anybody else in the chat's got questions about, wants to talk about? I think I covered most of what we'd planned to talk about, didn't we, Steve?
I think so.
We did. We probably should give Harley Davidson a shout out, though, for the King of the Bikers or King of the Baggers race. I believe they swept both days back on the podium.
I didn't catch any of those races, unfortunately. But I sure am glad that they're making it competitive. The first year they got their ass kicked by Indian. So it's nice to see there being, the competition is becoming more evenly matched.
Yeah, I'm trying to find here. Did anybody get to watch it and knows for sure what the placings were?
Is it Kyle Wyman?
Kyle. Well, it's Kyle and his brother Travis both.
Yeah, Kyle, and I think Kyle won. I think.
Yeah, I know he had like pole position, standing.
Yeah. That was last weekend, right? While we were at Spring Fling, a buddy, some of the guys were watching it. If memory serves me.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Moto America besides the YouTube. All Facebook or all of Google does is think I want to watch it on YouTube. I wanted to see like the actual results.
I wanted to point something out when we had Carrie on the live. For those that haven't been down to Eureka Springs to ride down there, they opened up a bar. Would it be safe to say on their property that they purchased? And they opened up a bar down there, and it just fits so well. And you got the Cat House in town. It's been there forever. Everybody knows about it. But the Switchback bar is like that perfect spot it's just far enough out of town that's super easy to get to, but yet you're out in the country. And her and her husband, Andy, do a phenomenal job of making you feel welcome. And I strongly recommend anyone that goes down there, whether you're on a motorcycle or a car, to stop in there and say hi. I think you'll have a great time.
So current standing, Kyle Wyman on the Harley Davidson, James Rispoli, I believe he is on a Harley Davidson.
And the Wymans own a Harley Davidson dealership back east, I think in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
New York, something like that. So I think that's badass.
I'm seeing if I can get this to come up. Not a grinder cannot remove. Nothing a grinder can't remove. Oh, probably talking about the pig. Yeah. Good night. Great live stream. Thanks, Doc. Yeah. Ozark Man, you and Firecracker are one of my priority subscriptions. Hope you guys do another Lady Rider chat. I'll be there. I'm sure we'll at some point later in the year maybe have them ladies all on again. I think that's a good thing to do. Maybe we can do a Q&A thing and advertise it out a little bit and take questions ahead of time that people want to know and kind of interview the Get Ladies again or something like that. I think Toby's out.
That wouldn't be a bad video for you to do. Maybe just a quick interview with all of them on one of your vlogs.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear what they have to say after the event's over.
Yeah, that might be interesting. I'm on the results page and I can't get the King of the Baggers full standing page to load. When I click it, it says check back later.
I'll reiterate that what I said a couple weeks ago. I really wish there was an event closer to the Midwest. I would love to go to a race. I think we're in the Kansas, Missouri area. I think Wisconsin has a track.
Yeah, they have something up there around Milwaukee. Elkhart, I believe, is the name of it.
And then I know Austin, Texas has a really well-known track. I don't know if they have an event there or not, though.
They were supposed to one year, and then I think it got dropped off.
Anybody in the side chat know? Let's say St. Louis. What would be the closest track for an event for the King of the Baggers? Does anybody know?
I know when I looked at it last year, it was going to be Texas or Elkhart, Wisconsin, and then Texas got dropped from the schedule, I believe, last year, and so Elkhart was the closest for us.
Okay, so Wisconsin.
I'm trying to see here.
Is Elkhart a suburb of Milwaukee, I'm assuming?
I don't think it's real far from there.
Okay.
I don't know that suburbs the right, Okay. I just, if it's, I guess if you live there, like when I worked in St. Louis, I would, people would say, oh, that's out in the county. That's not, that's not in the city. Well, it's all one big metropolitan area, but it's kind of like Kansas City. You get up north by the airport. That's not really what I would call in the metro. You got a good gap out there to get out there. But, someone that lives up there might say, oh, that's still Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I can't find it. I'll have to do a better job of prepping that to know the status next time. But I saw a post by Kyle, and I thought Kyle took pole position and then won on Saturday, but we'll have to look it up. But I want to kind of stay on top of that stuff. I do think racing's a good thing for them to be in, and I want to see that keep happening.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's 9:30. We're going to call the night early, guys. Thank you guys all for joining us. Again, you guys are all watching live. For those of you that catch this as a podcast, if you want to participate, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, come join us. I want to say a big shout out to, again, Schmidt Law Firm, the CAD House, Switchback, all those places that support helping us get to events, to do things like this International Female Ride Day, stuff like that. And, just putting these events on. So thank you to those guys. I hope you have places like that in your area doing cool things and you support them as well. All right, Steve, thanks for joining me, brother.
Right on, brother.
All right. I guess, I don't know. We don't have a date when we'll see you yet, because you're probably not coming to Ozark Rides Rally, are you?
It's not looking good. I mean, you said it earlier, you've got a bunch of weekends already planned, and so do I.
You got to prep for the 5,000 poker run.
I do, and then I've got a son that's graduating from high school, so I've got a lot of stuff going on.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Thank you, everybody in the chat, 9mm, everybody that's still here with us. Ray, everybody for hanging out with us. XAN Biker. We had Michelle. Sounds good. I'd answer questions. So sounds
cool.
like with something we'll maybe we'll try and have them on every few months or something and build some interest and maybe find different topics or things for them to talk about.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good to give them a voice and an opportunity to, introduce them to people and for people to get to know them and them have that voice in the community that they might not otherwise get to reach as many people with.
Yep.
All right. Y'all take care, stay safe. And you know what I say, keep on riding.
Keep on riding.